way it came out.
Well, we've seen the problems with special teams all year long. It went back to the Iowa Western game where you're fortunate to come out with that victory there when you end up having a couple of kicks blocked, and then you have the game winner, potential game winner blocked against Highland. The coaching staff has known about it. The coaching staff has worked on it. I would relate it, I guess, to, free throws. You can shoot free throws all day and all night, every single practice, and that's all you do, and your team gets out there, and they're just not good game free throw shooters, and they're just not going to drop. But I think here, those misses, especially early in the Garden City game, impacted decision-making later in the game. And Coach even talked about it on Dragon Talk. You're looking at 2 missed extra points, and now you're kind of in that extra point to 30-yard field goal range to probably seal the game. And instead, you go for it on 4th down because you don't know if you can trust your kicking game. I mean, worst-case scenario there, you get it blocked, and it gets taken to the house the other way for an easy 6. So this has all been building up to that moment where that decision had to be made. Okay, on 4th down, instead of relying on a kicking game that has failed us, let's rely on the offense. Offense just couldn't quite get it.
This is what Coach Rode had to talk about that game. Tough loss on his kids really took it hard. Here's what he had to say.
It stings more than I could describe. Pretty tough pill to swallow, but like I told the guys, I have to listen to myself as I try to get them past it too, and that is life. Life's a tough set of circumstances oftentimes that we have to just be able to pick up and move on. So that's what we got to do. But in looking back on the game, there were a lot of things that were encouraging by our football team. A lot of things we could have done better, but at the end of the day, it was as tough a loss as I've ever been a part of, especially kind of the way it happened.
And as you could tell, the coach said those kids worked hard. It just the way it went. Just wasn't their day, and unfortunately, it also affects the whole rest of the season.
It really does. And when you really boil it down, the Blue Dragons are 3 points away from being undefeated. 3. That is, even somebody's been around sports a long time, that's hard to take. 3 points. And you can pick out the plays that may have affected those 3 points. But that withstanding, I really want to see the Blue Dragons have a really positive out effect today. Come out strong. They're playing the Iowa champions. Iowa Central has won the Iowa League. They defeated, admittedly, they only have to play 2 games in their league as opposed to the Jayhawk where you got to play 7. But they won the league games they need. Iowa Western and Ellsworth. They're the league champs. They have a chance to possibly play in the big game of the bowl in Cedar Falls, Iowa. They play the Graphic Edge Bowl, and it's they got a chance to play in the elite game and play a good competition. Jesse Montalto, Darren alluded to the sooner, and we'll talk about it some more. He's been a tough outing for the Blue Dragons. Going back to Ellsworth, the one game I can remember, Hutchinson led 35-0 at halftime. And it was the biggest comeback against. Ellsworth won 42-35. That was a Jesse Montalto coach team, and he's doing a nice job here at Iowa Central.
So the 2 points I want to make a point on what we've been talking about with Garden City, and then make another point leading into our talk about Jesse Montalto. The offense has to be a lot better today than it was against Garden City. Went into that game rushing for 250 yards a game, got $150 against Garden City, threw the ball for 189 yards a game, only had 29 yards with 4 completions from Mark Wright. Half of those were to running backs. Ended up with a total of 179 yards of offense, an offense that went in with more than 430 yards a game on offense. Jesse Montalto, here's the one stat you need to know about him, in addition to what Steve said about the biggest comeback against the Blue Dragons. Iowa Central, in the 3 seasons leading up to Jesse Montalto's entrance, was 3-29. They won 3 games in 3 seasons. All he did last year was go 8-4 in his first season and won the opening game of that Graphic Edge Bowl.
That shows what kind of coach he is, because the coach has you say maybe a coach didn't have a lot to do with it, but I think in that situation, it certainly did. So we're going to take a break. We'll come back with more on Papa John's Countdown to Kickoff right after this.
At Papa John's, we like to say, better sausage, better beef, better bacon, better julienne cut Canadian bacon, better pepperoni. Papa John's. For a limited time, get a medium meats pizza made with 5 premium meats free of artificial flavors or fillers. Or our new barbecue meats pizza made with smoky Southern-style barbecue sauce for only $6.99 each. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's. Prices and participation may vary. Taxes, tip, and delivery fee extra.
Welcome back to Papa John's Countdown to Kickoff. Papa John's, 501 East 17th Street. Avenue, actually, and they're located also with the phone number of 665-7272. Give Papa a call, 665-7272. Some fine Papa John's pizza. So, again, good numbers you talked about the fact that they won the Iowa part of that. And that's been dominated by Iowa Western, but Iowa Western's playing pretty good ball right now. So, both those teams playing some pretty good football. We'll see what's going to happen here. Hutchinson would like to go up there and just make a statement, I think.
Well, I knew Iowa Western would rebound. They had lost 3 games fairly early. I knew they would rebound to the team that they're turning into. I never expected they'd jump the Blue Dragons in the polls. That's a little bit shocking. The way the polls are now, and again, with the Fort Scott forfeiture, I don't know how that will affect the polls next week, but getting back to what you alluded to, Glenn. Yeah, 1 year ago, we saw the Blue Dragons lose a heartbreaker to Garden City and really just not show up the next week. The sophomores remember that. Latrell Bankston, I know, has already talked to several of the freshmen about this is what happened last year. We can't allow that to happen this year. This team, I've said it all year long, has had a better thought process to it, just a better overall feel to it. I think they'll come out strong today because they do. They have a chance at a 10-win season too. That's only happened 4 times in Blue Dragon football history out of almost 8 years.
That's an amazing number right there.
So I think they want that. I think that's their goal now. You get this game, get to 9, go win the Salt City Bowl, make it 10, make a little bit of history for yourself.
So the bad news is, going back to 2015, Jesse Montalto has really had Ryan Rhodes' number when it comes to these matchups, and he's done it at 2 different places. He did it at Ellsworth. He's doing it again at Iowa Central. You mentioned that win last year, 54-16. All those victories, though, have come in Gowan Stadium. So you go back to 2014, Rhodes was able to win that on the road at Ellsworth. That was a 31-point win. Then there were the back-to-back years with losses, and it started with that game where the Blue Dragons had that 35-point lead in the third quarter, and Ellsworth scored 42 straight. Lost in Gowans in a 23-20 battle. 2017, Rhodes and the crew goes to Ellsworth, 25-13. I believe that was the Mud Bowl, right?
That was it.
Is that when we were wearing plastic sacks on our shoes?
You were wearing
it was just me.
Not just plastic sacks, but I think
we were just shivering. We were just shivering in that
cold
press box.
Yeah.
And then last year, of course, the 54-16 loss. But again, all those losses to Jesse Montalto coach teams have come in Hutchinson. So we'll see if Rhodes can continue that trend of beating Montalto at Montalto's place.
And that place is called Dodger Stadium. Little did you know that you're going to go to Dodger Stadium, but that's Dodger Stadium up there.
And Vince Scully will not be there.
Vince Scully will not be there. I like the feel of it because it's that old limestone brick wall around. Kind of, I guess, it takes me back to my Fort Hays State days, similar in design, but quite antiquated press box. We might even set up on the other side.
Yeah, we're setting up on the other side this year.
Then we're not moved 3 times. Get everything set up, and then they come, no, we can't have you there. Move over 1 slot, no, we can't have you there. So anyway, we're going to set up on the other side and a little bit closer. Randy McKay will be making the trip up as Darren will be busy with basketball as well. So looking forward to it. Let's take a break, come back and wrap things up as Hutchinson on the road today up at Fort Dodge, Iowa. If you want to know where Fort Dodge is, it's right smack dab in the middle of the state. Pretty little drive to get here. Fort Dodge, Iowa is where we're at. We'll be back with more right after this.
At Papa John's, we like to say, better sausage, better beef, better bacon, better julienne cut Canadian bacon, better pepperoni. Papa John's. For a limited time, get a medium meats pizza made with 5 premium meats free of artificial flavors or fillers. Or our new barbecue meats pizza made with smoky Southern-style barbecue sauce for only $6.99 each. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's. Prices and participation may vary. Taxes, tip, and delivery fee extra.
Welcome back to Papa John's Countdown to Kickoff. We're in Fort Dodge, Iowa. If you're at home in Hutchinson listening, 501 East 17th is where you can pick up Papa John's Pizza. You can dine in or carry out. Give them a call, 665-7272. We appreciate sponsorship on both Countdown to Kickoff as well as Sideline Reports with Randy McKay. And Randy will be with me today here as well. Again, one more regular season, and then we get set for Salt City Bowl. None of that will be announced until after November. Basically, this weekend is when all the teams play out, and you see who's going where.
Right. The bowl bids should go out Tuesday or Wednesday. all the negotiations will start taking place basically this week. You've got Texas playoffs to get done, Mississippi playoffs to get done, and there's also another handful of regular season games to be completed, not just in the Jayhawk, but I think the big one that we're all kind of keeping our eye on, even though the Blue Dragons are no longer in the national championship picture, is the Lackawanna Georgia military game.
Yeah, that's a big one.
The game's going to be held in Scranton. So if this is Lackawanna's time to put up or shut up. They're going to play a nationally ranked team at home in Georgia military. It's playing pretty good ball right now. If they can somehow win that game, I guess they deserve a chance to go. They won all their games. That's going to be interesting to see how that plays out.
See how that plays out, and also a combination of that from last week we haven't even talked about is the fact that Kilgore goes and loses as well. So everything was set up, but hey, that's why you play the game. And like you said, I hope the pride of the Blue Dragons shows up today, and they come out and say, hey, we need to make a statement against Iowa Central, and then get set for the rest of the season.
I don't think the sophomores want to go out like they did last year. I know they went out and won the Salt City Bowl, but that Iowa Central game, I think, stuck with a lot of the sophomores all throughout the year. It really was kind of a driving force. And again, to be just 3 points away from possibly playing in a national championship game, I think they're going to be motivated today.
Your thoughts, Darren, as we start to wind things down here a little bit?
Well, I think that's the main thing that we've kind of been touching on throughout the course of this is don't let history repeat itself. Don't come out and get yourself into a 27-2 hole at halftime and end up losing 54-16. Show that there's still a lot of fight in there despite a couple of shortcomings this season. It's been a great season. As Steve mentioned earlier, it comes down to a couple of swings of the leg or a couple missed blocks, the difference between having an undefeated season and having those two losses right now.
It's amazing when you look back at that, and it really comes down to 2 plays. The whole season comes down to 2 plays. It comes down to the missed field goal attempt that was actually nothing but an extra point up at Highland, and then it comes down to the ball being called complete, allowed Garden City to continue to drive and come up with a 40-yard field goal just as with 14 seconds left to go in the ballgame. Those are 2 out of all the plays that you have all season long. Those are the 2 that jump out at you.
Like Chris Berman used to say on ESPN, that's why they play the game.
Why they play the game, so no doubt about that. Well, guys, it's been fun. We'll have one more of these to do coming up around bowl time. And so we appreciate, again, Papa John's for being our sponsor as well. So Randy's ready in the booth, and we'll get set to get going, and we'll get set for football coming your way in just a little bit with the 12 noon kickoff. So on behalf of Steve Carpenter and my good buddy Darren Dunn, so long, everybody. We'll catch you right before we get set for Salt City Bowl with another countdown to kickoff. We'll be back with the kickoff coming your way right after this.
This has been the Papa John's Countdown to Kickoff with Glenn Grunwald, Darren Dunn, and Hutch CC Sports Information Director Steve Carpenter. Now we know what to expect during today's contest. The kickoff is just ahead. Enjoy today's Blue Dragon contest on Eagle Radio. It's time for the Hutch CC Blue Dragons on radio. The Blue Dragons on Eagle Radio are brought to you in part by First National Bank, Next Tech Wireless, H&R Block, The Medicine Shop, Pools Plus, Anchor In and Anchor Away, and these Sportscaster Club members. Lowen Corporation, Burning Chiropractic Center, Dr. Robert Epp of the Hutchinson Clinic, Portfolio Recovery Associates, Green Vision Group, Barclay Plumbing, Mega Manufacturing. Sideline Reports brought to you by Papa John's. Now let's head to the broadcast booth for the Blue Dragons game. Here's the Eagle Sports crew with all the action of the game on the Hutch Community College Blue Dragons Sports Network.
Well, good evening, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Fort Dodge, Iowa. So, a little confused because last night we were doing basketball, and right now we are getting set for football. Randy McKay joining me as well on the sideline and in the booth, and we're about to get set for the national anthem here in a second, Randy. But we drove all night long to get here to Fort Dodge, Iowa, pulled in about 6:30, grabbed a little breakfast, and tried to sleep a little bit, but I understand I was interrupting you with my snoring.
Yeah, between your snoring, another guy snoring, and my stomach growling after eating breakfast. Yeah, it was hard to sleep.
But we poked the bear and got Steve Carpenter woke up, and we are in Fort Dodge, Iowa, smack dab in the central of Iowa. It's about a 7.5 hour drive from Hutchinson. So right after the basketball game last night, we loaded up and headed our way up here to Fort Dodge. Now, luckily, we're not playing this a couple days earlier because it was 7 degrees temperature. Wind chill was at 0 with a couple feet of snow.
Yeah, at least a little bit of snow anyway, and still some of it's still there.
And now they're getting set for the national anthem that'll be played here in just a second. They're doing God Bless America with a beautiful big United States flag right in the middle of the field. And this old ballpark I mentioned on the pregame is limestone. Actually, it's made out of brick, but this goes back to the Roosevelt era in time. And as the gentleman was talking to us, so does the press box as well. It goes back to the Roosevelt era. So now they're going to do the national anthem. So we're going to take a timeout, about a 2-minute timeout. We'll be back for Blue Dragon football when we return to Fort Dodge right after this.
Radio is brought to you by the Sportscaster Club members, Mega Manufacturing, Sporting Chiropractic Center, Papa John's Pizza, A&A Builders, Barclay Plumbing Company, Sutton Cop and Transmission Service, Lowen Corporation, Old Office Shares, Dr. Eric Severud with Alliance Orthopedic and Sports Medicine, Todd and Cindy Miller of Homestead Senior Care, Man Wyatt and Rice Injury Lawyers, MAYB, Mid-America Youth Basketball, Portfolio Recovery Associates, Dr. Robert Epp of the Hutchinson Clinic, and the Green Vision Group of Hutchinson.
When you're looking for jewelry that's one of a kind, remember Amelia Bedelias, filled with thousands of beads and stones. And with my passion for design, I can create something that's perfect for you. Amelia Bedelias, 115 and a half South Main Street in downtown Hutchinson. Go Blue Dragon.
This is Kelly, owner of Brick House Boutique. Stay warm and look fabulous at the same time with comfy, trendy, and affordable clothing. You'll also appreciate the personal attention that you'll always get when you shop at Brick House Boutique. Big City Chic in a downtown boutique at 117 South Main in Hutchinson.
The Hutch Medicine Shop and the Hutch Blue Dragons have a lot in common. In addition to our logos both being blue, all 3 pharmacists at the Medicine Shop graduated from HCC. Rick Stone in 1984, Brent Bauman in 2001, and Lacey Stone in 2007. In fact, the Medicine Shop has employed over a dozen HCC students over the past 15 years who are now Kansas pharmacists. The Medicine Shop and the Blue Dragons working together as one team.
Getting the most back from your tax return starts with getting the most expertise. H&R Block has more enrolled agents than any other tax preparation company, and we guarantee the accuracy of every return prepared by our tax professionals. We find every credit and deduction to lower your tax bill. Put our expertise to work on your return, and don't just get your taxes done, get your taxes won in Hutchinson, Lyons, and Ellsworth.
Hi, everybody, and welcome back to Fort Dodge, Iowa. Glenn Grunwald along with Randy McKay. Steve Carpenter also helping out in the booth as well, doing the stat work today. We're going to help him spot a little bit as he's minus one person, and we've had some interesting trips up here again. It always usually involves sleeping in the parking lot, but I like it. It's a quaint little town, just kind of laid back in the middle of, right smack dab in the middle of Iowa. A lot of corn country around here. We actually took from I-80 the road up, and Randy, you were asleep a lot of the time, but at the same time, you could tell we were going through a little bitty town, slowing down, speeding up, kind of winding through there. Steve Carpenter has a way of finding special routes to get to our different places that we go to. And I guess we could blame that on my GPS, however, in this situation. So what do you expect out of this Blue Dragon team today? You were over around them. You're out on the field with them earlier on. They seem to be in a pretty good mood. At the same time, they know there's not a chance of a conference championship. Of course, this wouldn't have to do with this game anyway. That was last week. It's a situation also where they wouldn't be playing to try to get a bid for the national championship.
I would love to see them come out and actually play offense. They laid an egg offensively last week, and the defense kept them in the game and was playing quite well. They did make a few mistakes there towards the end, but still, I want to see the offense come out and be aggressive like they normally are, running hard, making those good passes, having Mark Wright making those good passes downfield and taking them into the end zone.
Tritons coming off a pretty good year, 6-5. Steve mentioned it in the pregame about the fact that they are the Iowa champions. They beat Iowa Western 28-26 in a 2-point ball game, and then they handled Ellsworth pretty easily. And so they are, for what has been a long time, has been dominated by Iowa Western. They are the Iowa champion here, and so they're pretty proud of their football team. So they'd like nothing better than to knock off number 6 Hutchinson today.
Three games. but still, the only 3 teams, junior college teams in Iowa that play football. So you've got to take that into consideration. And it's the first time that they've ever done that, which is a big plus for the Tritons here today.
Yeah, they will play host to somebody in the Graphic Edge Bowl. That is a bowl that it's indoor, and it involves 2 different bowl games, both in upper tiers, as Steve Carpenter alluded to, and a lower tier. Well, the Blue Dragons will host their own Salt City Bowl, and we'll see who's going to be the opponent for that. 2 big games today that are happening. One's tonight, Garden City and Butler. That's still a big game tonight. And through the events that took place with the forfeiture, which we talked about in the pregame, the fact that Independence has a chance to be an undisputed outright winner of the Jayhawk Conference. We weren't even talking about that. It was all Garden Hutch, and maybe Butler might be play a role in beating Garden City possibly tonight. Well, maybe the other way around. Garden City might be able to handle Butler. The other game that everybody's looking at is Georgia Military in Lackawanna. Lackawanna sitting undefeated in the number 2 slot, and that's just surely a fact of setting from the outside in, from the inside looking out to say, hey, you know what, who's going to be playing for the national championship? It could be Mississippi Gulf Coast and Lackawanna for that reason, but sitting right back outside there is Garden City in the 3rd seed right now, or 3rd place in the rankings.
And of course, Independence, because of their other losses outside the conference, they don't have any chance of making the national championship game at all.
Our captains are meeting on the field between both teams, and they will indicate who wins the toss and who elects to receive or maybe defer to the second half. Again, so glad to have you along. And again, we're a couple of minutes away from opening kickoff. I'll tell you what we're going to do. We'll take a 1-minute timeout, come back and get set for the opening kickoff coming your way from Fort Dodge, Iowa, Dodger Stadium. We'll be back in 60 seconds.
Plus this November, all in-stock grills are $100 off. Save 25% on CR Plastics outdoor furniture. What a perfect time to warm up for the holidays with up to $2,000 savings on all in-stock spas and $5,000 savings on all in-stock swim spas. Pools Plus is feeling thankful all November long. Don't be a turkey. Shop local. Shop Pools Plus this holiday season. 21 East 1st in downtown Hutchinson.
Call us at Pools Plus.
Hutch CC Sports on Radio is brought to you by the Sportscaster Club members. Mega Manufacturing, Sporting Chiropractic Center, Papa John's Pizza, A&A Builders, Barclay Plumbing Company, Sutton Coppin Transmission Service, Lowen Corporation, Old Office Shares, Dr. Eric Severud with Alliance Orthopedic and Sports Medicine, Todd and Cindy Miller of Homestead Senior Care, Man Wyatt and Rice Injury Lawyers, MAYB, Mid-America Youth Basketball, Portfolio Recovery Associates, Dr. Robert Epp of the Hutchinson Clinic, and the Green Vision Group of Hutchinson.
Welcome back to Fort Dodge, Iowa. Glenn Grunwald, Randy McKay, along with Steve Carpenter in the booth as we're getting set for the kickoff, which Hutchinson will receive. So I believe Hutch might have deferred to the second half, or possibly Iowa Central might have.
I didn't see the signal for that, but I just saw them say that Hutch was going to receive the kick.
Yep, Hutch will receive. They'll be defending the goal to the north, and the Tritons will get set to kickoff today as well.
Was watching the Triton kicker, Colin Swingman, during the warm-ups, and he's got a pretty good leg on him, kind of a lot like Sebastian Garcia's leg.
So he will tow it up at the 35. Hutchinson will get set, and the Blue Dragons will have back deep to receive will be Evans, who's turned into really a good return man, and he will set back at about the 10-yard line. So now we get set to get underway in the last game of the regular season, the Tritons of Iowa Central against the Blue Dragons of Hutchinson. We'll tow it up, and here comes the opening kickoff, and this game is underway. And Evans is going to take it right at about the 17-yard line, turns upfield around the right side, and he's going to be stopped at about the 30-yard line. So it'll be 1st and 10 for the Blue Dragons from that mark. Pretty nifty return by way, just followed his blockers, but
short kick due to the what little breeze there is blowing out of the north, which is where they were kicking into. The Dragons heading to the south with the wind here in this first quarter.
Interesting. The flags on the goalpost are moving, but not the American flag that's down at the north end of the stadium here at Dodger Stadium. This is a shared field with the high school. Of course, they're the Fort Dodge Dodgers. Hutchin will set up, and the Blue Dragons will get set.
Tornado siren.
Yeah, some tornado sirens are going off at 12 noon for the around here. Back to passes again as Hutchinson Mark Wright and gets the catches made on the outside. Pick up of a couple yards, kind of a little safety pattern on the outside to throw and catch made by, again, Aaron Collins out of the backfield.
Tyree Stevens, defensive back for the Tritons, reading that play very well, allowing only a couple yard pickup.
Hutchinson with trips on the right side and single wide receiver in Tinsley on that upper part on the left side, and shotgun formation for Mark Wright. So as Collins is running back, he'll turn, wants to throw it on the outside, over the head of Kareem Brown. They had the screen set up way over his head, and Mark Wright was off on his first attempt, their second attempt of the ball game, so he's 1 for 2.
Yeah, just a little bit out of reach, and I think they could have gotten a few yards had he gotten it right to Brown.
Brown didn't have a chance to catch that football, so incomplete pass will bring up a 3rd down and 7 call for the Blue Dragons. Mark Wright, the quarterback. Gets set, waist-high snap, 3-step back, steps up in the pocket. He's going to be corralled. Got him around the ankle and dropped him for about a 2-yard loss. It'll be punt time for the Blue Dragons. So Burke got in there for the Tritons to make the stop, and Mark didn't have anywhere to go. So kind of a pretty plain start for the Blue Dragons. A couple passes and actually tried to go deep on that one, just could not get out of the grasp of a Triton defender.
Not very often do the Dragons go 3 and out.
So Hutch will be back to punt. And Arrington will step back and get set to toe the football. As Hutchinson will kick on 4th down and 14. Looks like the Tritons might be trying to come after it. Here's a sidewinder kick. Gets a end-over-end kick and really gets a Hutchinson bounce. Taken all the way back down and going to be picked up at the 21-yard line and trying to turn it up the field and finally corralled at about the 42.
Risky play by Tenarius Aiken, the return man for the Tritons, but he did get a pretty good return out of it.
He backpeeled, looked like he was going to let it bounce, and then realized that he had some room to run with it and picked it up, like you said, at the 20, returned it 20 yards up to about the 43-yard line, we'll call it. So 1st and 10 for the Tritons now as they have their first possession. And the Blue Dragons, with that staunch defense that played outstanding last week at Garden City, was on the field for many, many minutes, really played well, will get set to try to defend their side of the turf. So the quarterback getting set is Brantley back there. Washington's a running back. Back to pass is Brantley, steps up out of the pocket, and it goes down. Goes down, and there's a flag. It's going to be a face mask penalty. As it caught him right at about the 38-yard line. It would have been a loss on the play, but raked across the face mask and caught him.
And the head linesman was the one that called the face mask. The back judge right there was even closer but didn't catch it.
So they're talking things over right now. Might have been inadvertent, and are they going to mark out yardage or not? Let's check it. Okay, so they're going to wave it off. They never caught the helmet opening, so there's your explanation. And Hutchinson with a good defensive play. 2nd down and long now for the Tritons. 2nd down and 14. Brantley give to Washington straight up the middle, but right there is Bankston to make the stop. He maybe gained a half a yard or so. Hutchinson says they had the football, so let's see if it came loose. I didn't see it, Randy, if it came loose or not.
I didn't see it either. Unless he just pulled it out of his arms.
They'll wave it dead. It'll be 2nd down and now 15. So Bankston, Luttrell's getting all kinds of offers from everywhere.
I like the fact that Bankston is going to go somewhere else and play.
Yes, he is, and several of these young men are. Matthews as well right there in the middle. So Bankston at the nose guard spot sets up. Brantley back in the shotgun.
Empty backfield.
Gets the snap. Back to throw. They're going to converge on him, and he's going to go down. Big loss all the way back to the 33-yard line. Bankston again. And Bankston is having a heyday right now. Bankston on the stop.
And Matthews was back there with him.
Matthews was in there as well. So it brings up a 4th down punt situation. 4th and about 20 yards to go for the 1st down. So they'll be back punting.
So Tinsley and Evans back waiting that punch. Actually, nope, that's Colvin is back with
Colvin's
Tinsley.
always on one side and Tinsley on the other. Jacob Toycombe will be punting the ball. He's out of Shaler, Iowa. Gets the punt away. Nice kick. Blue Dragons take it at the 38. Gets through one line of defense around the outside to the 50. Down to the 45. Colvin on the run all the way down the sidelines and finally ran out of bounds inside of Triton territory. They're going to mark it right at the 13-yard line. What a return by Colvin. As he got through that first line of defense, because I thought he was tackled, and Randy, I heard you say something, and all of a sudden up the sidelines he goes.
Yeah, he broke through that first tackle. There was two of them trying to wrap him up, and neither one of them succeeded.
51-yard return.
51-yard return, Steve Carpenter says, for Colvin. Nice return. Inside the red zone now, the Blue Dragons will set up 1st and 10 on the 13 of Iowa Central. So Hutchinson with 11:33 to go in this first quarter of play has an opportunity here with a good possession inside the red zone. Again, Mark Wright, the quarterback. Whistle stops play. And a timeout's going to be taken by the Tritons. We'll get a quick break in. No score as of yet in this contest. 11:33 to go in the first quarter of play. But Hutchinson inside the red zone at the Iowa Central 13 when we return right after this timeout on the Blue Dragon Sports Network.
This is Carter Fowle, president of Hutchinson Community College. I invite you to join us this winter as the proud tradition of Blue Dragon men's and women's basketball continues at the historic Hutchinson Sports Arena. Both teams are favorites in the tough Jayhawk Conference, so you won't want to miss any of the action. Find the schedule at BlueDragonSports.com, like us on Facebook, and follow Blue Dragon Sports on Twitter. As always, go Blue Dragons.
Well, welcome back to Iowa Central, to Fort Dodge, Iowa, I should say. Blue Dragons with a 1st and 10 opportunity on the Iowa Central 13-yard line. So inside the red zone, Blue Dragon offensive line takes his place. Mark Wright, the quarterback. Behind him is Eric Collins.
Yeah, about 3 yards behind Wright.
Collins. The Collins gets the take. He's going to be to the 10-yard line, slices to his right, still on his feet into the end zone. A 13-yard touchdown for Aaron Collins from 13 yards out on a 1st down and 10 situation.
What a great job up front blocking for the Blue Dragon offensive line.
Did a great job. His speed just exploded in the left part of the end zone. It's 6-0 Blue Dragons with the early lead with 11:25 left to go in this first quarter of play.
So we'll see if the woes continue now on the extra points here. They struggled last week mightily with the snaps. Good snap this time.
Kicks is up and on its way, and it is good. And your score with 11:25 to go in this first quarter of play. Blue Dragons on the board, 7-0. We'll return for the Blue Dragon kickoff coming your way right after this.
Breakfast? Just call us at Anchor Away 662-3100 and we'll have it ready for you. Choose from our selection of breakfast burritos, biscuits, or one of our 5 different complete breakfast plates. Breakfast from 7 to 10:30, Monday through Saturday. If you missed us for breakfast, we're here for lunch and dinner too. Pick up your favorite Mexican dinner or take some home for the family. We're open till 9. That's Anchor Away drive-through, carry-out, and catering under the water tower at B & Adams in Hutchinson, 662-3100.
Well, a quick hitter by the Blue Dragons that put them up 7-0. A 13-yard touchdown run by Aaron Collins from 13 yards out and set up by a Colvin 51-yard kickoff return, punt return, I should say. Punt return that took him all the way to the 13, and Aaron pumped it in. Collins from the 13-yard line on an electric run. So here comes the Sebastian kickoff. And again, kicking with the wind at his back, and he gets a nice toe. It's going to, just goes out of bounds the 3-yard line. Just about caught that corner down there, which would have still been a touchback, but still trying to get to the end zone. The other day with wind aided at Garden City, he put it 80 yards from the 20. Oh, wow. Put it from the 20 because of the penalty on the kickoff. So they'll mark it at the 35. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Tritons here. Last time, Brantley just didn't have much to do at all. Arthur Brantley, their freshman quarterback. They also have a running back named Jaden Washington, who's a freshman, has had good success this year as well. Tritons in dark navy blue tops with white bottoms, trimmed out with white helmets as well. Blue Dragons in all white uniforms with their classic Blue Dragon Power Dragon on the side of the helmets. Here Brantley gets set now. He has Washington on his right hip. Turns and gives to Washington, and he's going to be stopped after a couple yards on the play. Picks up a couple yards, I should say, out there. Actually, that might have been Kurt Taylor. Kurt Taylor was on the carry, number 23. He's out of Covington, Georgia. So picked up a couple yards. 2nd down and 8.
Again, going with no huddle.
Here's Brantley. The give again. No, he keeps it. Keeps it around on his up. He's open. He's up to the 50-yard line inside of Blue Dragon territory and finally ran out of bounds at about the 45-yard line. So a nice pickup by Brantley on the option. And that's what that option does for you, Randy. You read that defensive player, and they're biting on the handoff, and he just kept it himself, tucked it, and once he got to midfield, he angled to his left and moves the football, moves the chains.
And they get into Blue Dragon territory.
Brantley back. Here the Dragons come with a blitz.
Bo Cooper was the culprit for the Blue Dragons.
Ball is on the 39-yard line of the Blue Dragons. Brantley again, the quarterback, has his tight end in his back field as well. Gets it off again, carried forward for a pickup of a couple yards. Again,
we have a fumble.
Taylor, the fumble on
and
play.
The Blue Dragons recover.
And Hutchinson comes up with the fumble. So the Blue Dragons will have the football right at close to midfield. They'll actually mark it right around the 41-yard line. So they do mark it at the 41, and coughing up that football was Kurt Taylor, the running back for Iowa Central.
Bankston forced it, Gaines recovered.
Okay, Bankston forced it, and Gaines was able to recover it. So those two have been a force this whole season. Again, Mark Wright hands it off. Wide open, pops open for some big yardage as Evans all the way out to about the 43-yard line of Iowa Central. So the quick opener.
17-yard gain for Evans. A good job by the offensive line right there, and a big, quick burst by Evans through it.
Evans has really came on strong and started to be a real factor in this offense. Turn to Evans again. Now, keeping himself is Mark Wright. He's up to the 30-yard line. A couple missed tackles. Takes it all the way down to the 25. So Mark Wright keeps it himself around that left end. Picked up some nice yardage. Ball will be on the 28-yard line, 1st and 10, Hutch.
Kenny Edwards was trying to swipe at the ball, trying to knock it out of Mark's hands.
Mark Wright doing a good job on that. He really has ran the ball well this year. Back to pass is right. Gets it to Tinsley at the 20. He spins around. He's out of bounds. But another nice pickup of about 6 yards on the play.
Tinsley's first catch in 5
So
games.
Tinsley, as Steve Carpenter indicates, his first catch in about 5 games because he did not play versus RPA and a couple other ones. He played in a couple other ones, just didn't have the ball come to him. So 2nd down along 3. Mark Wright gives the ball off around the right side. The running back trying to get forward and carrying it, a couple bodies with him all the way to the 15. That's Evans again. Evans on the carry.
They're going to mark him just short of the 15.
It'd be good enough for the first down, so they'll move the chains. Another first down for Hutchinson. 9:34 to go in quarter number 1. Hutchinson on top 7-0. And already again in the red zone now due to the turnover for Iowa Central. And good running right there by Evans. Mark Wright calls the signals on the outside. Catch is made on the outer perimeter, trying to make something inside the 10-yard line, and a pickup of about 7 yards. Over there on the catch for the Blue Dragons was Kobe Phillips. Phillips with the catch. Picks up about 7 yards. 2nd down and 3 now for the Blue Dragons. Ball's right at the 9-yard line of Iowa Central.
Well, we're seeing a much better offense than what showed up at Garden City last week.
Here's the snap. Wright's going to keep it himself around the outside. Walks into the end zone for 6. Easy touchdown for the Blue Dragons from 9 yards out. It comes with 8:45 remaining to go in this first quarter of play. And it's 13-0. Hutchinson with the lead. Nice little option right there. And Mark Wright elected to keep it. Was able to get it in for 6.
Good job by Wright reading the defense.
They will attempt the extra point. Garcia's in there. Kick is up and on its way, and it is good. So with 8:45 to go in this first quarter of play, Hutchinson 14, the Tritons of Iowa Central nothing. We'll wait the Blue Dragon kickoff coming your way on the Blue Dragon Network right after this.
Users, helicopter moms, Nextech Wireless has you covered. And right now, we have the perfect deal going on. Here it is. For a limited time, 4 lines of unlimited data cost $120. Plus, you get 2 free iPhone 11s or Galaxy S10es when you activate any 2 devices. So get on down to Nextech Wireless and check it out. Get your free smartphones and unlimited data today at Nextech Wireless. We'll keep you connected. Certain restrictions apply. See store for details.
Well, Blue Dragons make it look pretty easy. 14-0, a 59-yard 6-play drive with a 9-yard scamper by Mark Wright around that left side for 6. Garcia's kick was good, and Hutchinson leads at 14-0. So,
and of course, leading the way for most of that, Tyon Evans with some good running from the running back position.
And set up by the turnover as well.
Exactly, yeah.
Gaines and Bankston getting that ball to come loose, and they get 7 off the turnover. So now Hutchinson will kick off as Garcia will set the tee at the 35 and about getting set to kick it away. So number 6, Hutchinson leading 14-0, 8:45 to go in his first quarter play over Iowa Central. All right, now we get set. Here comes the kick by Garcia. Nice end-over-end kick is going to be taken right at the goal line or 1-yard line and going to be returned out, trying to turn around the left side, tripped up by a Blue Dragon that was actually on the ground, made a nice stop and gets it out to the 16-yard line. Nice job.
Yeah. Christian Ford with about a 15-yard return.
Armano gets the stop and just takes his feet right out from underneath him when he's prone on the ground, and that shows some savvy football right there. And sets up 1st and 10. They'll mark it at the 16-yard line. So 1st and 10 for Iowa Central from their own 16. And we've seen Iowa Central go with a couple different running backs back there. Let's see what they have back there right now. Is Brantley still the quarterback?
Kurt Taylor still running back.
Taylor's still back there. They'll give it off to Taylor. Taylor around the right side and picks up some positive yardage across the 20 to approximately the 22-yard line. So brings up a 2nd down and 4. So pick up 6 yards for Taylor. He remains in at that running back spot. Brantley, the freshman quarterback for Iowa Central. Iowa Central 6-5 on the season. Turn to give up the middle and little or no gain on the stop. A big number 98 for the Blue Dragons, Dennis Jackson. DJ's had a good season this season. And we've seen 98 on lots of stops.
I think you can say that pretty much for the whole defensive line.
You really can. Donaldson's been getting some offers this week as well. Ron Williams, man in motion. Turn to give to that, no, the keep that is. That's keeper by the quarterback, Brantley. Picks up maybe a yard or a yard and a half. Let's see. It's going to be close to be about 2 yards away from the 1st down. So 4th and 2, definitely a punt situation for Iowa Central.
And back to do the kicking, Jacob Tokheim.
Punt time. Last punt was returned by Colvin for some nifty yardage, and Colvin and Tinsley will both set up at about the 45-yard line for the Blue Dragons.
Blue Dragons got a punt block last week.
Here comes the kick, and it's a high towering kick. Hits at the 49, it's a live ball as it hits a Blue Dragon, and it was picked up by a Triton and to the 40-yard line.
Hit Bennett right in the back as he was going back towards the return man.
He was going to help with the return. The ball took a Iowa Central bounce.
That it did.
End over end and hit Bennett in the back, and right there to pick it up was one of the up men for Iowa Central. So, and a receiving team player was touched. It'll be Triton football, 1st and 10 from the 41-yard line of Hutchinson. So a little mistake right there by the Blue Dragons.
Let's see if the Blue Dragon defense can prevent it from being a costly mistake.
Brantley, the quarterback, wants to throw it on the right side, arches it up. Receiver goes down. There's the flag, comes in. Evidently was tripped by the defensive man out there is Ogbonna. Chu Ogbonna with the trip, and the receiver never had a chance to get to the ball. So pass interference is going to be the call.
So that'll be an automatic first down for the Tritons. Oh.
So they're going to call holding on Ogbonna. They'll mark it at the spot, and they'll mark it right at the 31-yard line. So 1st and 10 from the 31 now for the Tritons, the Blue Dragon 31.
First actual penalty of the game.
It's really been a clean, with the offsides that we had earlier on. 6:53 to go in this first quarter. 14-0 Hutchinson. The throw on the outside. Incomplete pass.
There was a flag on the play, and I think we're going to get called for offsides again on the defense.
So the Blue Dragons having a little tough time on trying to time their blitzes. Ends up giving up another 5 yards, and they'll mark it off, and it'll be 2nd down and 5. Or 1st down and 5, excuse me. So the 5-yard penalty makes it 1st down and 5.
Chain marker's got 3rd down.
Mm-hmm.
There, he's changed it.
So the ball on the 26 of Hutchinson. Close to that red zone. Brantley gives off to Washington. Washington around the outside, and he's going to carry himself forward. Probably gets the 1st down all the way close to the 20-yard line.
They're going to mark it right at the 20-yard line. It will be a 1st down.
So 1st and 10 for the Tritons at the Hutch 20-yard line. So they're in the red zone for the first time this afternoon. A sunny afternoon, about 51 degrees. It's inched up to 49 right at kickoff.
Not a bad day in Iowa Central. Central Iowa.
Mm-hmm. Fort Dodge, Iowa. Back to pass. The keeper by Brantley carries it up forward. He's finally going to be tackled at the 15-yard line. Gets back to just about the original line of scrimmage as Matthews was there staying home.
Spraggins in making the tackle there.
And came in and helped him out as well. So 2nd down and 5 now. Again, inside the Blue Dragon territory. At the 14. So back there's Brantley, the quarterback. Long snap count, back to pass. Here comes the rush, flushes him out. He throws it on the right side, uncatchable. Knocked away by a camera person over on that far side, and brings up a 3rd down and 6 call.
Good pressure by the front line of the Blue Dragons.
Deontay Gibson with the quarterback pressure.
Gibson put some pressure on from the outside. Blue Dragons defense being asked to try to pick up the slack there as the ball hit a Blue Dragon on the punt and was a live ball. It was picked up after the kickoff. A little or no gain on the play around that right side was Brantley. He picks himself up. He's limping a little bit, so we might see a change of quarterback before too long. Keep our eyes on that. 4th down and long.
You're going to see the field goal team come out.
I think we are going to see the field goal team come out.
So Colin Swigman.
Ball on the 14 makes it a 24-yard field goal. 23, thank you, Steve. 23-yard field goal is where they're going to mark it. And here's the attempt from 23 yards out to try to get the Tritons on the board. Kick is up and on its way, and he missed it. Ooh. So off its mark with 5:09 to go in this first quarter of play. The Blue Dragons defense did its job and held, and the offense will come back out on the field. So a little bit of a drama there with the turnover, basically, right at midfield when it hit a Dragon in the back and was picked up by the Tritons. And then again, the interference penalty, including an offsides penalty, took them down, and they attempted that 23-yard field goal. It was not good.
So the Blue Dragon offense returns to the field with a 14-0 lead now.
5:09 remaining to go, quarter number 1. Glenn Grunwald along with Randy McKay and Steve Carpenter from Fort Dodge, Iowa. Blue Dragons, Mark Wright readjusts the offense, and a timeout was taken. Let's see if it was. Okay, 12 men into formation. Go substitution penalty against the Blue Dragons. We'll back it up.
Those are penalties that you really can't have. They're non-aggressive penalties, and they're just stupid.
Just a personnel situation, marks it back, and it becomes now a A 1st and 15 situation from the 15-yard line. The give off to Collins, tries to go around that left side, and he's going to get bottled up and works his way out to about the original line of scrimmage.
Manages to make a yard or two on that, but there are a couple of flags down.
So flags on the play. They're laying right around the 15-yard line. Let's sort those out and see.
From the location, probably holding.
And he kind of danced around a little bit back there, and that sometimes will cause the hold. So they'll sort things out and decide where it is going to be. And again, Hutchinson had it at the 16, right around the 16-yard line. Collins carry took it out to about the 19. Chop block's what's going to be called. Half the distance to the goal now against the Blue Dragons. So let's see where they're going to mark the football. It'll be half the distance. Would have been a 15-yard penalty.
It's one of those things you can't hit the player low if he's being engaged by somebody up high.
Looks like they're going to mark it at the 7-yard line or thereabouts.
About the 8, yeah.
Mm-hmm. First and 22. So 1st and 22 now for the Blue Dragons. So Collins couldn't do anything on his run, and we had a chop block violation. So here's Mark Wright. Mark will keep it himself. Finds a little opening, squares around on the left side across the 12-yard line up to about the 13. So a little bit of a pickup right there. 4:39, clock moving away along in this first period of play. 14-0, Hutchinson with the lead, but Hutch right now pinned back deep in their own territory, ball on a 13. So a pickup of 6 for Mark Wright. Brings up a long second down. Second down is 16. Back to pass Wright. Across the middle, incomplete pass.
Looked like the ball was hit or his arm was hit as he was releasing it.
So pressure on the play was caused by Iowa Central. Good defense will bring up a 3rd down situation. 3rd and 16 from the 13-yard line for the Blue Dragons.
Yeah, Matt Hansen getting in there for the Tritons, putting a little pressure on Mark Wright.
Hutchinson gets set. Aaron Collins in there, running back. Mark Wright. As wide receivers trips on the right side. Tinsley up high. There's Wright. He's going to keep it. Gets a cross quarterback keeper up to about the 20-yard line. And short for the first down. So Hutch will punt the football.
Looks like he just got back to the original line of scrimmage, maybe a yard more. So, yep, 4th down, 9 for the Dragons.
Hutchinson will bring in the punt unit. Arrington will go back. And back deep.
Tenarius Aiken.
Mm-hmm. Aiken.
Will be back for the Tritons.
Out of Lafayette, Louisiana. So Hutchinson will punt with 3:40 to go in this first quarter play. Gets the ball off. Ball hits at about the 46-yard line and rolls dead at about the 38-yard line. So that's where the Tritons will set up.
Now that actually bounced up and hit the Blue Dragon gunner running down the field. Just barely grazed him, and that's where the ball will be placed for the possession.
They'll mark it right at the 42-yard line. So Tritons football. They trailed the Blue Dragons 14-0 here in the first quarter. It's been a long first quarter of play. 3:30 to go in this first quarter of action. Okay, they're going to move it to the 46. You're right. The gunner touched it, and that's where they're going to mark it. So they'll mark it at the 46.
And it was an unintentional touch, too. So it just bounced up and hit him in the arm.
Brantley with some company back in that backfield this time, and looks to the outside. A little bubble pass is caught on the outer perimeter. Off to the races goes the Tritons. Catch is made over in that far side by
Aiken.
Aiken again, and he carries it all the way up into the Blue Dragon territory with the first down.
And we actually have a new quarterback in for the Tritons. That's Chance Gibbons.
I was wondering about that. Gibbons, I was talking about the Brantley limping a little bit last time, so Chance Gibbons is the quarterback now. He's out of Ankeny, Iowa, which is just outside of Des Moines. They keep forward to about the 20-yard line.
A fake to Mario Wright coming across on the white split end sweep.
Gibbons carries it forward for positive yardage. 2nd down and 7. 33-yard pickup for Gibbons.
Ankeny is the hometown of former volleyball coach Rhonda Shirley.
All right, now we get set. Movement on that right side of the offensive line, so flag's going to be thrown. False start against Iowa Central.
Interesting fact that Steve Carpenter just brought up, that Ankeny is former hometown of former volleyball coach of the Blue Dragons, Rhonda Shirley.
Yep, Rhonda now in North Carolina.
USC.
USC.
Formerly South Carolina.
Out in South Carolina, former South Carolina State, so D1 volleyball. We'll have a lot of volleyball coming into the arena here in a couple weeks. So the National Volleyball Tournament will start. Back to pass, and Gibbons is really racked all the way back to the 48-yard line. He was just getting ready to throw the ball, stepped up into the pass rush.
First hit by Spraggins, and he hit him hard. Right up the middle.
Big loss on the play all the way back to the 47-yard line. So it brings up a 3rd down and long call now for the Tritons.
3rd and about 23. Definite passing situation. Blue Dragons in a man defense.
Gibbons sends a man in motion. He's going to keep it himself, and he's going to be dropped at the 48 for another loss. Loss of about 4 yards on the carry. So 4th down and punt situation here. Gibbons just didn't have a chance. Gaines on the stop. Gaines has played some good ball this year.
And now Gibbons comes off limping.
We'll keep an eye on Gibbons to see if he's going to be all right or not.
Although Brantley's not
he's
looking.
Bent over.
Brantley doesn't look like he's limping too much anymore.
On the Triton sideline. Here comes the punt, just about blocked, but he got it away. It's going to hit at about the 15 to be down by the Tritons. So they'll mark it at the 20-yard line. Down there quickly was Schoenfelder. Bettendorf, Iowa is his hometown. So 1:02 to go in the quarter. Hutchinson will have the football on their own 20-yard line, 1st and 10.
I was taking a little walk earlier this morning after we got here and forgot where we were at. I couldn't understand why I kept seeing Iowa Hawkeye flags hanging outside.
Had one of those moments, did you, Randy? By the way, Blue Dragon basketball tonight, both the girls and the guys in action at the Sports Arena in the Atrium Classic. Darren Dunn with the call on the guys game. Throw on the outside, a little screen pass on that outside at about the 22-yard line. The catch was made. Carries forward for a pickup of a couple yards.
Brown with the catch for the Blue Dragons.
Kareem Brown injured earlier in the season. Saw some action lately. We'll have some basketball action in Western Nebraska, as well as Barton will match up in women's play in the early game today. Ball on the outside, the throw, incomplete pass. And Mark Wright stepped up, and Petway got caught kind of jousting on the outside and didn't even see the ball come over his shoulder.
Yeah, I'm not sure that Petway had any idea that the ball was coming his way.
So it brings up a 3rd down and about 5 situation facing the Blue Dragons. Ball on the 25.
27 ticks left in this first quarter.
Ball, of course, stopped. The clock stopped with the incomplete pass. And now we get set. Right, the quarterback. Sends Cross in motion, who's out there. Kenneth Cross makes the incomplete pass. Popped out of his arms. Thought he had the catch made. Ends up being an incomplete pass. Will bring up a 4th down and 5.
Case of running before he has the ball.
Yep, he saw some room.
And he had room.
And was going to try to make something happen and just was not able to. So 21.6 seconds to go in the quarter. Iowa Central will send a receiver back.
Tenarius Aiken back deep awaiting the kick of the Blue Dragons.
He'll set up at his own 35. So Arrington will get set to sidewind the kick again. Here comes the kick on its way. Aiken lets it bounce. Sees it hit at about the 35 and roll. Now down at about the 31-yard line. So Hutchinson with the downs it there with 11.1 seconds to go in the first quarter play. Hutch still on top, 14-0.
Well, I think so far we've kind of gotten our answers to which Blue Dragon team was going to show up today, because both offense and defense have been clicking on all cylinders so far.
Been playing well. Got a 13-yard touchdown run by Collins with 11:25 to go in for the first score of the game in the first quarter of play, and then Wright with a 6-play, 59-yard drive from 9 yards out with 8:45 to go. And that's how our scoring is right now. A missed field goal by Iowa Central. Throw on the outside. Catch is made at the 30. And sidesteps one defender. Gets the first down all the way up to midfield before he stopped with 2.3 seconds to go. Nice little catch over there on the far side.
That's Kurt Taylor, and he eluded Spraggins' tackle to gain a few more yards.
Brantley back in there at quarterback, so the connection by Brantley over to Taylor was good for that pickup. And they'll mark it at the 49. That's going to be the end of the first quarter. So 1 quarter in the books. Hutchinson on top, 14-0. We'll be back with the second quarter start when we return to Central Iowa Fort Dodge right after this on the Blue Dragon Sports Network.
When and where we can, right? You can do that every day at Salt City Pawn and Jewelry. Hi, this is owner Paul Phillips inviting you to stop in and say hi to our friendly staff. And while you're here, check out over 3,000 square feet of great merchandise priced at outstanding values. We don't have to offer huge sale prices for one day only when we do that on a daily basis. Save big over retail prices on firearms, electronics, guitars and amps, name brand tools, video games, jewelry, and more. See us at 916 East 4th and Hutch, just east of 4th and Severance. We're proud to be alumni and supporters of all Blue Dragon athletics.
Hi, Brian Bobo, General Manager at Midwest Superstores. We know when looking for a pre-owned vehicle, finding the exact vehicle can be tough. So we want to make it easy. We have over 500 pre-owned vehicles available in our huge inventory. How do we do it, you ask? Well, we have available in inventory from all of our other locations. And unlike the big chain stores, we do not charge to bring one in. So if we don't have it, we'll find it or we'll get it. So come see us today at 1100 East 30th or online at MidwestSuperstore.com.
Welcome back as we start this second quarter of play. Good position, field position for Iowa Central. They have it at their own 49-yard line. Flinched there, but I think the Blue Dragons were safe. They'll throw it on the outside, incomplete pass. I think that Brantley actually thought he might have had a free play. Aiken was the intended receiver and was not able to connect with him.
Looking at the first quarter stats, the total offensive plays, 16 plays for Hutchinson for 88 yards, 18 plays for Iowa Central, 52 yards in total offense in that first quarter.
Yep, even with the first downs at 5 apiece. Again, the leading rusher for the Blue Dragons is Mark Wright with 39 yards on 5 carries and a touchdown. Yeah, Collins with the other touchdown. Brantley's going to keep it himself. He's inside of Blue Dragon territory and slides to the 42-yard line, really close to the first down.
The official on the far side marks him a yard short.
It's going to be a full yard short, so 3rd down and 1 here.
So that's pretty much where the slide started, not where it ended up.
So 3rd down and short, 3rd and 1 for the Tritons at the 43-yard line, 42-yard line actually, of the Blue Dragons. Hutchinson a little confusion on defense. The carry looks like they had the first down, and they do, up to the 40-yard line. And pick up right there by Washington. Takes it to the 40. So 1st and 10 for the Tritons inside the Blue Dragon 40-yard line.
Matthews on the tackle for the Blue Dragons.
So Brantley and Washington in the backfield now for the Tritons. They'll split wideouts on the left side with twin set and give off to Washington. Nothing there. Actually a loss on the play as well. Big stop inside there by, again, Brankston. And Cooper came over to help out as well. You don't run on that left side too much, and then especially with Bankston right there in the middle and Matthews on that right side. So now 2nd down, and we'll call it 11. Brantley, the quarterback, was injured for just a little bit. Came out and just got I saw him limping, and he was substituted for, but he's back in there now looking okay. Back to pass, Brantley on the right side, just about picked off. Incomplete pass, and just went off the fingers of a Blue Dragon linebacker back there. So stops the clock with 13:30 to go in the second quarter of play.
Yeah, there was Yardy on the deflection for the Blue Dragons.
And if he would have been able to tip it up and get it, it would have been 6. The other way, I should say.
Going to back him up another 5 yards for the Tritons.
Little illegal procedure. False start on the offense. So 3rd down and long now. 3rd and 16. 13:30 remaining to go in this 3rd period of play. A little partly cloudy. It was sunny earlier, but right now a little partly clouded here. When you would go outside, actually, and even when it was in the 40s, it would be rather comfortable, except for the little bit of breeze. Not much now. Back to passes, Brantley. Steps up, and now he's going to tuck it away and start to run, and he'll be stopped at the 45-yard line. Back to the line of scrimmage, brings up a 4th down and 16.
Actually, they're going to give him a yard.
Picks up, like you said, about a yard. So we'll say 4th and 15 now. So 13:06 to go in this 2nd quarter of play. The Dragons lead at 14-0.
Jacob Tokheim back to punt for the Tritons.
Listen to Blue Dragon football on KHUT Hutchinson and KWBW Hutchinson as well. Both AM and FM. Blue Dragons, Tinsley and Colvin on the far side. Tinsley on our near side. Here comes the kick. Tinsley takes a look at it and takes it on out of bounds right at the, let's call it 16-yard line. And Tinsley with the catch will make it 1st and 10 for the Blue Dragons at the 16. So 12:38 to go in this 2nd quarter of play. Glenn Grunwald, along with Randy McCain, Steve Carpenter, here at Fort Dodge, Iowa. Bree Rogers, the photographer, rode up with us as well. Of course, the Blue Dragon Sports Network. Luis doing a good job with the camera work. If you want to go to BlueDragonSports.com or actually go to the YouTube channel for the Blue Dragons. Here's Wright, the quarterback, gives it off. Nothing there for Evans, but he's going to try to make something out of nothing around the right side, trying to turn that corner, and he runs out of real estate over on the far side. Loss of about 5 on the play.
Could not make that corner turn. Good pursuit by the Triton defense.
Thought he was going to maybe be able to get the edge turned over there and pick up some positive yardage, but the loss of more than just that 5.
Looks like about 6. Back to the 10-yard line.
So it'll be 2nd down and 16. So 2nd down and 16 for Hutchinson. 2nd quarter of action. Mark Wright, the quarterback. Back to pass. Steps up. Now he heaves it down the field. Incomplete pass. Good coverage at about the 35-yard line. And no flag on the play.
Pedway looking for a flag, but nothing to be had there. But it did look pretty close to interference.
Pass was catchable, but he would have had to gone down and tried to scoop it if he could have. So 3rd down and long, 3rd and 16. We do. Clear back by the goal line. That could be roughing the quarterback, as Steve Carpenter just whispered in my ear. They're talking about it, and flag still. Yep.
That's an automatic first.
It is an automatic first. So 15 yards from that previous spot, which was the 10-yard line. So they'll mark it out and put it at the 25. So 1st and 10 now for Hutchinson at the 25-yard line. You know, we see Mark crank and get set to throw, and we're looking downfield. Yeah. At least I am, Randy. And roughing the passer was the call. Back to pass now. Mark Wright on the outside. Catch is made on the outside at about the 33-yard line and gets forward for about 3 or 4 more yards.
Flags, a couple flags, one thrown by the umpire.
Craig Bird over there. First catch for Craig for some time.
Probably going to be a hold against the Blue Dragons.
It's going to be unfortunate, but it weighs out that nice catch by Bird on that far side. Craig Bird's made some great catches this year for touchdowns and big yardages. And they are walking backwards, so it's going to be against the Blue Dragons. Personal foul. Chop block.
Again, that's 2 chop blocks the Blue Dragons have had.
So the replay of the first down, but Hutchinson loses that yardage that Craig Bird had made on the catch, plus some more. So let's see where they actually mark the footballs, half the distance to the goal. It should be right at around the 13, Steve says. So let's see if that's going to be true to stand, and it will be. So first and a long ways. First and 22 for the Blue Dragons.
Brown and Braham split left.
And they'll toss it over to Evans, trying to turn that outside edge on the right side, and picks up some positive yardage. Brings up a second down opportunity. Clock moving with 12:02 to go in the second quarter of play. Now, they did not move the clock as that was a running play. I don't think it got out of bounds, but possibly it might have to stop that clock. So second down and 22 now for Hutchinson. Mark Wright gets the snap, throws the ball on the outside. Tinsley with a catch, with a screen. He's hit at the 15, contact made, and then he's wrapped up there. Petway just couldn't let him get off the block right there. Tinsley tried to use his block, was not able to. Picked up 1 yard on the carry is all, on the catch all is all. So third and 20 now facing the Blue Dragons. Possible pass situation for Mark Wright. Tinsley split on the left side. Trips on the right. Back to pass.
Free play.
Mark Wright. He's going to be fumbled. Blue Dragons trying to get to the football. They say incomplete.
Really
was he in the grass? He was in the grass back there, I believe, is what they're going to call.
Doesn't matter. I think they're going to get the Tritons for offsides.
Okay. So it was third down. Let's see what the yardage mark-off was going to be. 11:19 to go now in this second quarter of play. Hutchinson on top, 14-0 if you just tuned in. Dead ball foul. Third down still. They'll mark it off 5 yards and mark it right at the 19-yard line. So Hutchinson will have another opportunity with third down here. Atrium Classic about to get underway this afternoon. Again, two girls games, two guys games. Tonight, the late game tonight, Labette and Hutchinson Community College. Blue Dragons winners yesterday. Ladies rallied back. Here's a run out of the pocket by Mark Wright. Throws the ball down the field. Incomplete pass. He had Brown out there, but just overthrew him by about a yard, yard and a half.
Just kind of impressive about Wright's arm strength, because it just looked like he flipped it out there and it went 30 yards.
But it brings up a fourth down and punt situation, 4th and 16. And they'll have to punt the football away. Again, the Lady Dragons rallying last night. A couple big threes by Abby Ogle. 2 back-to-back ones and 3 in the fourth quarter to give the Blue Dragons a 5-point win over Western Nebraska. Here comes the kick by Arrington. Nice punt. Taking in a fair catch at about the 38-yard line. So Iowa Central will have that ball right there and set it up. Hutch ladies play NEO tonight. That'll be a 5:30 start, depending on the length of time with the earlier games. And the guys will get underway against Labette at approximately 7:30. Darren Dunn with the call. If you want to watch the Blue Dragons ladies, they'll be on the Blue Dragons Sports Network on YouTube. And the guys will be broadcast on Country 102.9 as well as KWBW at 7:30 p.m. with Darren Dunn and Dan Nacarado on the color. Here the Tritons have the football, 1st and 10 in their own territory. Carry forward left side, pretty safe run. Picks up a couple 3 yards on the carry. And they'll mark it right at about the 42-yard line. Pick up of a couple. We'll say 3. Second down and 7.
Geronte Davis with the tackle for the Blue Dragons.
Martha Brantley is still the quarterback. Came out momentarily. Now stoppage of play on this one. New face back there running the football right now is going to be Grant Walker. Walker out of Decatur, Georgia. Second down to call. 5-yard penalty against Iowa Central. They'll mark it at the 37-yard line, so second down and long. Second and about 12 for the Titans. The Tritons quarterback, Brantley, steps up, checks off. Now he steps back. Two running backs in the backfield. Back to pass. Has some pressure on him, and he's going to go down. Hutchinson came up to get the big sack back there by Lewis Wallace. As he does a little dance step after he gets up to celebrate. Big yardage loss right there. Third down and about 20. Third and 20. 21, Steve says. So third and 21 is going to be the call for the Tritons. Now stoppage of play. Timeout's going to be taken by the Blue Dragons. With 9:48 to go in quarter number 2, Hutchinson 14, Tritons nothing. Tritons facing a third down and 21 will return right after this.
When the weather is warm one day and cold the next, stay ahead of cold and flu season by drinking plenty of liquids, getting enough rest, and keeping your hands sanitized. Come see the friendly folks at Ashcraft Pharmacy, your locally owned Health Mart pharmacy, for over-the-counter medications to help alleviate symptoms. And if you need a prescription, we offer free mail-out, free delivery, or call ahead for our handy curbside service. Go Dragons! From Ashcraft Pharmacy in the Hart Shopping Center, South Hutchinson, and Health Mart, caring for you and about you.
9:48 to go in this second quarter play. A lot of penalties so far in the contest. First downs are even at 6 apiece. Rushing yards for the Blue Dragons, 59.
Mark Wright at 5 of 11, just under 50% on passing.
But the penalties have kind of been the story on both teams. Brantley shovel passes it quickly
to Walker.
To Walker and out of bounds at about the 28-yard line. So a quick little shovel pass over to Grant Walker.
Tackled by Gibson.
And brings up a fourth down. Punt situation for the Tritons. So Blue Dragons will set back Colvin. He's been dangerous this year as well. So is Tinsley. Both have had long returns. And Colvin had a good one today already on the punt return. They'll set up at their own 45.
Tokheim with the punt here.
Fumbles it. Got to get rid of it. He's going to be dropped for a loss all the way to the 10-yard line. The Blue Dragons will take over right there. He never had a chance. He fumbled the snap and tried to get it off, but they were on him big time.
And they're going to mark it actually at the 13-yard line. But
so
still,
forward progress.
Still first and 10 for the Blue Dragons.
First and 10 inside the red zone for Hudson. Great opportunity here with 9:03 to go in this quarter to make something happen. So Blue Dragons huddle up around their offensive coordinator on the far side. And they'll break huddle and come up and see if they can take advantage of the miscue by the Tritons. Sun's starting to come out a little bit here in Dodger Stadium.
You say Dodger Stadium, I'm still waiting for Kershaw to throw a pitch or something.
Or as Steve Carpenter said earlier, Vince Scully to make a statement.
Again, everybody.
Hey, they give up the middle by Collins. Carries, maybe even lost a yard on the play, up to about the 14-yard line.
Collins hobbling just a little bit after that play.
And he's going to check out the contest. Good call, Randy, as he checks out. The Dragons will send in Cross into the lineup. Kendall Cross will come in and set up on the left side of Mark Wright. Now Wright gets set. Has Petway in the top side. And Tinsley down low on wide receiver sets. Goes with the tight end as well. Back to pass. Mark Wright catches made by Tinsley at the 6 and down right there.
Did I see right? Did that ball get tipped just at the line of scrimmage?
Might have. I was trying to scan it with my binoculars, but a nice catch by Tinsley. They'll mark it. They'll officially put it down to 7. So third down and 4 call for Mark Wright inside the red zone now. We have got cords on top of cords. Makeshift
and
electricians.
Such a little space to work in, too.
But we're inside. That's right. Pitch on the outside. Kendall Cross trying to turn the corner on the right side. Gets forward back to about the original line of scrimmage. 4th and 2 now for Hutchinson.
So
Hutchinson elects to go with here.
The snaps on the extra points, on the 2 extra points, have been pretty darn good. So But it looks like they're going to keep the offense in.
Well, here's the situation. You keep the Tritons down there, even if you don't get it. You're got good field position. You lead at 14-0. Maybe trying just to draw them off sides. That might be what they're trying to do, and then come in and kick the field goal. So Cross sets up now, Mark Wright, and that's exactly what you're going to do. Timeout's going to be taken by the Blue Dragons to talk that over, and more than likely get time to bring in the field goal team. So they go to the sidelines. We'll get a break in. Again, you listen to Blue Dragon football on KHUT as well as KWBW. 14-0, Hutchinson on top. Hutch facing a 4th down and 2 situation when we return right after this on the Blue Dragon Sports Network.
In need of a business loan? With the First, you are promised personal service and commercial lending. Whether your business is just getting started or you're ready to expand, the First has solutions to help make your business successful. We're First for you. Find out how our loan experts can help. Visit fnbhutch.bank to get started or stop into a location nearest you. First National Bank of Hutchinson, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back. 7:01 to go in this second quarter of play. 14-0. Hutchinson with the lead. Hutchinson knocking on the door, trying to get 6 more. As 4th down and ball on the 8-yard line. 3 to go. About 4th down and 3, we'll call it officially. Hutchinson is going to go for it. Thought maybe they might elect to go for the field goal. Look what defense the Tritons were in. Here's Mark Wright. Back to pass. Looks to his left side. Throws the football and dropped at about the 2-yard line. Would have been a first down if Tinsley would have catch it, but Tritons will take over on downs.
Looked to me kind of like he short hopped that pass to Tinsley.
Tinsley, if he could have caught it, would have had the first down at about the 2-yard line, but they'll cough the football up by way of turning it over on downs, I should say. And Tritons will now have it deep in their own territory at their own 6-yard line.
And with the way the Blue Dragon defense has been playing, not too much to worry about here.
But that was a good stop by the Tritons, as Hutchinson definitely had an opportunity after the 4th down, not able to get the punt off and the sack. Here's Bradley, gives off to Washington. Washington thrown to the turf at about the 4-yard line.
Bankston.
And Bankston on the stop and just ragdolls him back there. I'm referring to like the Andy doll, the rag dolls, just getting tossed to the turf.
Raggedy Ann and
Raggedy Ann, there you go. Now you're dating me. 6:33 to go in this second quarter of play. All right, here the Tritons set up. 2nd down, in about 12 situation. Wanting to throw the football on the outside is catch is made, but incomplete pass knocked about out of bounds on his momentum on the catch by Ankley. Akin with the reception, though, but again, he was out of bounds when he caught the football. 6:15 to go now. 3rd down and long. 3rd and 12 on the call here.
And with the Blue Dragon defense, that's risky making passes in the end zone, because they've gotten to the Triton quarterback several times already.
Brantley back in the shotgun. Gets a snap, waist high, decides to run with the football. He's out across the 5 to the 10. Still more yardage up to the 15-yard line. He needed to get 12, and he might have got the first down. They will move the chains. Nice job by Brantley.
Got about 15. Needed 12, got 15.
On the quarterback scamper, because it did look like it was a busted play, and he decided to tuck it and run. So 6 minutes to go in the quarter. Back to pass Brantley. And keep the drive alive. Pass on the outside. Just off the fingertips. Over on that far side. Incomplete. Just about caught on that far side over there.
Tyreem Stevens was the intended receiver.
Just off his fingertips. Good coverage by the Blue Dragons as well. 2nd down and 10. So 2nd 10 and 10 with the ball on the 18-yard line. Their own 18 for the Tritons. Brantley again the quarterback. Has a running back on his hip. He keeps it himself. Gets across and slides across to the 21-yard line. Pickup of about 3 or 4 on the carry. Positive yardage makes it a 3rd down and 7 call. So 3rd and 7 now. A little bit longer. That 3rd and 8, we'll call it, where they finally mark it.
And marked it at the 20.
So the Tritons break huddle, and then I get set. Brantley calls out the signals. Blue Dragon defense gets set. They stay home. Back to pass. Ball on the outside. Incomplete pass. Came off the fingertips of a intended receiver for the Tritons. Makes it 4th down call.
Marion Wright, the receiver, and had Bennett been watching the ball instead of the receiver, he might have had himself a pick six.
Ball popped straight up and ended up being incomplete. So here Colvin along with Tinsley again, the duo for the Blue Dragons back at their own 45 again. Last time, Blue Dragons were able to get a sack on the punt, so to speak, as it was mishandled. This one's clean. Gets it off. End over end kick is taken. Colvin takes it at the 44-yard line, turns it upfield, has some positive yardage inside of Triton territory, all the way down across the 30-yard line. Let's see where they mark him out of bounds at about the 33.
But still a good return by Colvin.
Colvin caught that one on the bounce perfectly and was at full speed by the time he caught the football. He's done that twice today, once on our near sidelines, this time on the far sidelines. As Hutchinson had the ball 1st and 10 at the Triton 33-yard line, a 23-yard return by Colvin. Clock right at 5 minutes to go in this 2nd quarter play. Hutchinson leads at 14-0. 2 first-quarter touchdowns by the Blue Dragon offense. Here's the gift straight up the middle. Evans has some room all the way to the 10. 5 touchdown Blue Dragons. A 33-yard romp by the Blue Dragons for the TD with 4:53 to go in quarter number 2. It did not take long for him to hit the hole, and when he did, he was gone.
Great blocking up front by the entire Blue Dragon offensive line.
So a 33-yard run by Evans has put the Blue Dragons with 6 more on the board for a 20-0 lead. This all happening at the 4:53 mark. Here's the kick. It is blocked, and that is returnable. A couple Tritons try to get to it. They finally do. Now they take it across the 50, down to the 40-yard line, and finally knocked out of bounds right there. So another blocked extra point against the Blue Dragons. The success did not go the Blue Dragons' way, and Hutchinson luckily was able to get back and get the stop.
And it wasn't the snap this time. It was a good snap. Just a miss.
Extra point. So 20-0 is where we stand. We will take a timeout and get set for the Blue Dragon kickoff when we return right after this on the Blue Dragon Sports Network.
Chiropractic Center, Sutton Coppin Transmission Service, Lowen Corporation, Old Office Shares, Dr. Eric Severud with Alliance Orthopedic and Sports Medicine, Todd and Cindy Miller of Home Instead Senior Care, Man Wyatt and Rice Injury Lawyers, MAYB, Mid-America Youth Basketball, Portfolio Recovery Associates, Dr. Robert Epp of the Hutchinson Clinic, and the Green Vision Group of Hutchinson.
Well, a 33-yard run by Tyon Evans for the touchdown. The point after touchdown was not any good. Point after was not any good, and it makes it 20-0. Hutchinson with the lead with 4:53 to go in the 2nd quarter play. So we'll wait the Blue Dragon kickoff. Garcia approaches the ball. Puts a toe into it and really puts a toe into it. Hits right at the goal line and bounces into the end zone. Well, makes it a touchback, and Tritons will take over right at that spot with 4:53 to go in the 2nd quarter. Nice run by Evans.
Yeah, good run by Evans, and the hole opened up big and quick by the Blue Dragon offensive line, and he got through there about as quick as it opened up.
Glenn Grunwald along with Randy McKay and Steve Carpenter in the booth as well. Randy McKay's sideline reports brought to you by Papa John's Pizza, 501 East 17th. 665-7272, as he has been all year long. Here's a give Billy Series flag on the play in the backfield. Is going to get some yardage across the 40, slides forward to about the 44-yard line, but it might be coming back. Washington with a quick opener.
19-yard gain brought down by Bennett.
So the flag laying aimlessly at the 24-yard line. Let's see what they got. Possibly a chop block. Let's check it. As they'll walk back to the north here with 4:46 to go. There's a personal foul. It will be a chop block.
Yep.
Half the distance to the goal line, so that'll mark it back to the north, and it'll be a long yardage situation facing the Tritons of Iowa Central. Iowa Central, the Iowa champions this year. Graphic Edge Bowl will be coming up the first weekend in December. So will the Salt City Bowl down in Hutchinson. Opponents to be decided in both bowls. That'll all come out in the next couple of days, folks. Belly Series again, this time around the outside. Washington trying to turn it up to about the 15-yard line, and he's gang tackled by several Blue Dragons at that spot. So that'll bring up a second down and long, second at about 18.
Wrapped up initially by Jackson, Dennis Jackson.
Dennis with some good lateral speed to get out there to make that stop.
Got out there quick for a big boy.
Mm-hmm. He does. He moves well. He's another one that's receiving some offers. So Brantley, the quarterback now. There's two folks back there in the backfield with him as well. Wants to pass the football. Steps up and wants to throw it. Gets it away. All the way down. Incomplete pass at the 50.
Looked like
we have a flag on the far side.
Looked like a little push-off here on the receiver, but nothing called there.
The flag is laying at the 15.
Yeah.
All sides.
Yep.
LTI.
Mm-hmm. So it'll bring up, you're right, Randy, it was a free play, but incomplete pass. So second down will come up again. 2nd and 14. They'll mark it right at just about the 21-yard line. Brantley again, the quarterback with full house backfield, gives it off, getting to Washington, has some speed, gets across the illicit line of scrimmage all the way up to about the 28-yard line. So positive yardage, picked up about 7 on the carry. Makes it a third down and 7.
Geronte Davis with the stop for the Blue Dragons. A couple of nifty moves by Washington before he got tackled.
So a big third down play right here coming up. Defense trying to flex their muscles a little bit.
PA announcer watching the wrong yard marker, I think.
That happens from time to time. Back to pass. Stepping up is Brantley. He goes down. Back to the line of scrimmage, but there's an official sack on that one as he tried to scramble out of the hold.
Nico Cooper with the sack for the Blue Dragons.
Okay, so that makes it, with the 3:02 and the clock moving along, it'll bring up a 4th down and punt situation, 4th and 9. And Hutchinson will send a couple receivers back. Last couple times, Colvin's had some good positive returns. And he sets up on the far side near the Blue Dragon bench. Well, Tinsley's on our near side, nearing what you're watching on the Blue Dragon Sports Network.
And we know both of them can take it to the house if necessary.
High snap, but he gets it down. Kick on his way, shanked it to the right side. It's going to hit and take a Titan bunch and then a bounce, and then it hits a Triton player.
He actually tried to grab it. I don't know why he was doing that because it was going the correct way to bounce.
It'll be at the 40, about the 48-yard lines we're going to mark it. So 1st and 10 for the Blue Dragons from that mark.
Grant Walker from the Titans, he would actually grab that punt, and it was still rolling Triton way.
It was shanked, but then it took a good Triton bounce. 2:25 to go in the quarter. We're about halfway through, second quarter of action. The Dragons will split wideouts on the left side and one on the right.
Coleman in the backfield now for the Blue Dragons.
Turn the fake to Coleman, throw on the outside. Catch is made by Burt. Only a pickup of a couple yards on the catch, and I should say. Burt made the catch.
Burt looked a little indecisive as to what he wanted to do after he made the catch.
Roach will split out wide on the right side. So a different group of receivers out there. Braham to the right side as well. Blue Dragons will set up. Mark Wright, what a joy he has been to watch this year at that quarterback spot. Fakes the handoff, throws to the right side. Catch is made over on the far side by Roach. At about the 40-yard line, good enough for the first down.
And just falling out of bounds. And, of course, you know, we've mentioned before about Mark Wright transferring to Hutch from Ellsworth.
Georgia boy, but played 1 year at Ellsworth and then transferred to Hutchinson Community College. You're right. And he has been the right stuff. He's done a good job.
It's been a while since the Blue Dragons have seen a quarterback like Mark Wright.
He's so doggone accurate. Now, he had one bad game, and that was last week where he was off his mark, but really can throw the football there to give to Coleman. He stumbles forward and picks up positive yardage up to about the 36-yard line. And a Triton player down at midfield and injured. So they're going to take a timeout. We will as well with a 1 minute and 29 to go in the second quarter of play. It's 20-0. Hutchinson with the lead. We'll be back with more from Fort Dodge right after this.
Jewelry that's one of a kind. Remember, Amelia Bedelia's filled with thousands of beads and stones, and with my passion for design, I can create something that's perfect for you. Amelia Bedelia's, 115 and a half South Main Street in downtown Hutchinson. Go Blue Dragons!
This is Kelly, owner of Brick House Boutique. Stay warm and look fabulous at the same time with comfy, trendy, and affordable clothing. You'll also appreciate the personal attention that you'll always get when you shop at Brick House Boutique. Big city chic in a downtown boutique at 117 South Main in Hutchinson.
Welcome back. 1:29 to go in the quarter. We're in the second quarter of play. Hutchinson on top, 20-0.
Luke Chewell, the injured Triton, off the field on his own power.
Steve Carpenter will be my halftime guest. We'll talk some volleyball. We'll talk some national cross country. Ball on the outside. The catch is made over there. And Blue Dragons have enough for the first down. Nice job by Hutchinson on the catch.
Braham.
Was Braham, exactly. So Braham makes the catch over there, moves the chains. They're going to mark it at about the 24-yard line. So 1st and 10 from the 24. Clock at 1 minute and 22 to go now. Mark Wright, turn to give to Coleman, nothing there. Stack up right at the line of scrimmage, probably lost a yard and a half. And a timeout's going to be taken by the Blue Dragons with 1 minute and 14 to go to talk things over here. Trying to save some clock and trying to at least get 3 out of it. It'll be down a 2nd down and 12. It'll be a timeout taken by the Blue Dragons. We'll get a break in as well. 20-0. Hutchinson on top, trying to get some more out of it with 1 minute and 14 to go. We'll be back with right after this.
Medicine Shop and the Hutch Blue Dragons have a lot in common. In addition to our logos both being blue, all 3 pharmacists at the Medicine Shop graduated from HCC. Rick Stone in 1984, Brent Bauman in 2001, and Lacey Stone in 2007. In fact, the Medicine Shop has employed over a dozen HCC students over the past 15 years who are now Kansas pharmacists. The Medicine Shop and the Blue Dragons working together as one team.
Timeout taken by the Blue Dragons to stop the clock. Their 3rd and final timeout with 1 minute and 14 to go in the second quarter play. 20-0, Hutchinson with the lead. Blue Dragons trying to get a little bit more out of it. 2nd down and we'll say 12.
And you just kind of wonder, they're working for a touchdown, not to try a field goal, because they've had 3 extra points blocked in the last 2 weeks already. So
trying to get something out of this drive, I'm thinking. So now we get set. Mark Wright, the quarterback. Ball on about the 25-yard line. Back to pass is right. Steps up. Throws to the right side. Has a receiver out there. And Evans makes the catch. Tyon Evans with the catch from 25 yards out. Actually, 28 yards out, I believe. 27. Thank you, Steve. 27-yard touchdown catch by Evans. And he went into double coverage.
Rocky Schonider was covering him perfectly, and he still came up with that pass.
So 27-yard touchdown pass, Mark Wright to Evans. And they will go for a couple here. Going to go for 2, trying to get that chase that missed extra point. 26-0, Hutchinson on top. Mark Wright will set up here. 1:08 to go in this second quarter of play. Back to pass is right. Catch is made for the 2-point conversion to Roche. So the 2-point conversion is good on the pass from Mark Wright to Roche. It makes it 28-0. Hutchinson with the lead. We'll be back for the Blue Dragon kickoff with 1:08 to go in the second quarter of play right after this timeout.
From your tax return starts with getting the most expertise. H&R Block has more enrolled agents than any other tax preparation company. Hutchinson, Lyons, and Ellsworth.
Welcome back. 1:08 to go in this second quarter of play. A 2-point conversion was good by the Blue Dragons to make it 28-0. Evans in double coverage somehow, some way made the catch from 27 yards out for the TD. As Mark Wright really puts something on it. Here's the kickoff. It's going to be taken straight up the field to about the 20-yard line, ran out of bounds at about the 18. Kind of went backwards a little bit. Let's see if they give him a full bit of progress or not. As the return was a fair one.
Brant Casey on the return for the Tritons.
Trying to make something happen with 1:03 to go. And they'll run him out of bounds. And
you're going to mark it right at the 20.
Yep, they'll put it right at the 20-yard line where his forward progress was stopped, and Tritons will take over there with 1:03 to go. The 2-point conversion was good, but Mark Wright to Roche for the 2-point conversion to make it 28-0. Hutchinson had a PAT blocked on the touchdown before that. There's a carry straight up the middle, pick up positive yards up to about the 25-yard line, 24-yard lines where they're going to mark it. So second down and short situation. Second down and 6.
Gaines on the tackle.
Gaines has been active today, along with Bankston. I say today. Active in that defensive end spot. He's a good one. Give up the middle, and they squeak through and close to the first down.
Washington's running the ball well for the Tritons.
It's been their major ball carrier all year long. They'll mark it right at just short of the 30-yard line, so about a foot short.
Nope, they're going to move them. They're moving the chains.
They will. So it was not short. When they first put the down marker up over there, it was just a little bit behind. But it'll be a 1st and 10 for the Tritons, and that could be the last play of the quarters. Is down to 3 seconds. They'll give it again up to Washington. Quick hitter up to about the 35-yard line, but that'll be halftime. Halftime is here with the Blue Dragons on top, 28-0. We will take a 2-minute timeout, come back and look at the numbers of the Medicine Shop in-game capsule. We'll be back with more from Fort Dodge, Iowa after this 2-minute timeout.
Pools Plus this November. All in-stock grills are $100 off. Save 25% on CR Plastics outdoor furniture. What a perfect time to warm up for the holidays with up to $2,000 savings on all in-stock spas and $5,000 savings on all in-stock swim spas. Pools Plus is feeling thankful all November long. Don't be a turkey. Shop local. Shop Pools Plus this holiday season. 21 East 1st in downtown Hutchinson.
Call us at Pools Plus.
HCC Sports on Radio is brought to you by the Sportscaster Club members, Mega Manufacturing, Sporting Chiropractic Center, Papa John's Pizza, A&A Builders, Barclay Plumbing Company, Sutton Coppin Transmission Service, Lowen Corporation, Old Office Shares, Dr. Eric Severud with Alliance Orthopedic and Sports Medicine, Todd and Cindy Miller of Homestead Senior Care, Man Wyatt and Rice Injury Lawyers, MAYB, Mid-America Youth Basketball, Portfolio Recovery Associates, Dr. Robert Epp of the Hutchinson Clinic, and the Green Vision Group of Hutchinson.
This is Carter File, president of Hutchinson Community College. I invite you to join us this winter as the proud tradition of Blue Dragon men's and women's basketball continues at the historic Hutchinson Sports Arena. Both teams are favorites in the tough Jayhawk Conference, so you won't want to miss any of the action. Find the schedule at BlueDragonSports.com, like us on Facebook, and follow Blue Dragon Sports on Twitter. As always, go Blue Dragons.
Just as the Hutchinson Blue Dragons athletics are a tradition, so is the Anchor Inn in downtown Hutchinson. Whether you plan lunch or dinner or even take out for home, the Anchor Inn is a great family restaurant that you are sure to enjoy. Order off their great menu or take advantage of the Anchor Inn's awesome buffet. You'll make a great choice either way. The Anchor Inn is also a great spot to meet up with old friends and acquaintances because everyone goes to the Anchor. That's the Anchor Inn at 128 South Main in Hutchinson, proud supporters of Hutchinson Blue Dragon Athletics.
Well, the Blue Dragons with a nice lead at halftime, 28-0. It's time for the Medicine Shop in-game capsule, brought to you by the Little White Castle at 14th and Main, the Medicine Shop. When you think of the Medicine Shop, you think of pharmaceuticals, but tell you, they do a great job with vaccines as well. Again, the flu season is here, and if you're 65 and older, ask for that stronger flu shot. They have it in stock now. They'll take good care of you as well. Again, Lacey and Grant with the softest touch. They do a great job. That flu season is here, so don't mess around with it. Get in and get your flu shot. Also, if you're not a member of the Medicine Shop, want to give them a trial, call. Just go stop in. They'll do all the work for you. They'll transfer the medications for you and make it very, very easy for you to get your prescriptions filled. The Medicine Shop. It's time for the in-game capsule here. Randy's pretty good job of the Blue Dragons opening it up by way of the pass in the second quarter to get some things happening. Mark Wright doing a good job passing it. He's 10 of 17, has one touchdown, 82 yards total, and his longest was a 27-yard completion.
Also that two-point conversion there after the last score. But looking at the overall numbers, they're all relatively even as far as first downs, 10-8. The Hutchinson Blue Dragons are leading that by 2. Rushing and yardage, 93 yards on 15 carries by the Blue Dragons, 31 carries, 43 yards for Iowa Central. Passing, as we mentioned, 82 yards for Mark Wright, 37 yards for the Tritons. Total offensive plays and yards, 32 plays, 175 yards for the Blue Dragons, 40 plays for Iowa Central, and only 80 yards. The number of penalties, it's all pretty even. 7 for 49 against the Blue Dragons, 6 for 47 against Iowa Central. Leading rusher for the game is Tyon Evans with 44 net yardage, 1 touchdown, and an average of 8.8. Right behind him is Mark Wright. For Iowa Central, it's Jaden Washington, who right there in the second quarter really started to come to life, had 32 yards for an average of 3.2 on 10 carries.
Also, Evans had 2 touchdowns, one by way of the rush and one by the pass, the long 27-yarder that went to Tyon Evans. And also, of course, like you said, the point after touchdown catch was made by Roche as well to catch the football. Jalen with that one catch for 10 yards as well. His longest was a 10-yarder. Nolan Arrington doing a good job punting the football. He's averaging 42 yards on 4 kicks, 168 yards total. His longest was a 50-yarder. And again, Marquise Colvin with 2 nice returns for 74 yards on the total. His longest was a 51-yarder, doing a good job back there. So all in all, a good job done offensively for sure by the Blue Dragons. Defensively as well, Spraggins is in there with 6 tackles, Gaines with 6, also Bankston with 5, and Davis with 7. So good job done defensively by the Blue Dragons as well.
And look forward to seeing more of the same in the second half. In fact, as I mentioned a little bit earlier, unlike last week at Garden City, the Blue Dragon offense has come to play, and that was what we were wanting to see today, just to make sure that everything was good for them, even after the disheartening loss at Garden City last week.
One thing I need to point in is that Rhonda, we talked about Rhonda Shirley being from South Carolina. She is from South Carolina upstate, as Denny Steckline gave me a nice tweet, text. I appreciate that very much. Is formerly from Iowa as well. So glad to have her doing well in Division I, as she spent a lot of years in junior college volleyball, both here in Kansas and in Texas as well. Blue Dragons lead it at halftime, 28-0. That is your Medicine Shop in-game capsule, brought to you by the Little White Castle at 14th and Main, the Medicine Shop. We're going to take a 2-minute timeout. come back and chat with Steve Carpenter, who rode up with us last night on an overnight drive up to Iowa to bring the broadcast back to you. Does such a good job at the Sports Information Director job. And we're going to talk a little cross country as well as also Region 6 volleyball just around the corner as well, actually already in progress, and we'll be continuing tomorrow. We'll be back again, 28-0, Hutchinson on top at halftime. We'll be back in 2 minutes.
Heavy data users, helicopter moms, Nextech Wireless has you covered. And right now, we have the perfect deal going on. Here it is. For a limited time, 4 lines of unlimited data cost $120. Plus, you get 2 free iPhone 11s or Galaxy S10es when you activate any 2 devices. So get on down to Nextech Wireless and check it out. Get your free smartphones and unlimited data today at Nextech Wireless. We'll keep you connected. Certain restrictions apply. See store for details.
If you could own a vacuum that would last decades for under $200, would that pique your interest? The bag lady Donna Pitzer has bought out the inventory of another Panasonic dealer and is passing the savings on to you. Panasonic vacuums are the standard for many, and right now, get a top-of-the-line Panasonic Performance vacuum for only $199.95. These vacuums normally sell for $400, but right now, you can own one for only $199.95 with free delivery. These prices won't last, and neither will these vacuums. Call the bag lady Donna Pitzer at 663-4322.
Hi, Brian Bobo, General Manager at Midwest Superstores. We know when looking for a pre-owned vehicle, finding the exact vehicle can be tough. So we want to make it easy. We have over 500 pre-owned vehicles available in our huge inventory. How do we do it, you ask? Well, we have available in inventory from all of our other locations. And unlike the big chain stores, we do not charge to bring one in. So if we don't have it, we'll find it or we'll get it. So come see us today at 1100 East 30th or online at MidwestSuperstore.com.
It's football season, when the weather is warm one day and cold the next. Stay ahead of cold and flu season by drinking plenty of liquids, getting enough rest, and keeping your hands sanitized. Come see the friendly folks at Ashcraft Pharmacy, your locally owned Health Mart pharmacy, for over-the-counter medications to help alleviate symptoms. And if you need a prescription, we offer free mail-out, free delivery, or call ahead for our handy curbside service. Go Dragons! From Ashcraft Pharmacy in the Hart Shopping Center, South Hutchinson, and Health Mart, caring for you and about you.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Fort Dodge, Iowa. Glenn Grunwald along with now Steve Carpenter at halftime. 28-0 Blue Dragons with the lead. A nice first half of play, Steve, by the Blue Dragons as they came out and played well. They ran the football, and then we've seen them recently put the ball in the air successfully. They come up leading it by 4 touchdowns, 28-0. A good outing.
Yeah, we alluded to it on Countdown to Kickoff about would we see a replay of what happened last year after the devastating loss to Garden City last year. Basically, the Blue Dragons came out, did not show against Iowa Central at Gowan Stadium, lost 56-14. Today, yeah, they very much showed up. I think the sophomores remembered that, and that would just really left a bad taste in their mouth and really kind of obtained a 9-win season for the Blue Dragons last year. They have an opportunity to get 10 wins now. A win here and the win of the bowl game would only be the 6th time. I think I said 4th on countdown, but it is actually, it would be the 6th.
Still in the long tenure of Blue Dragon football, that's pretty doggone good.
Honestly, there's not that many seasons that went 10 games. There's a lot of games where there are a lot of seasons only 8-9 games, so the opportunity to win 10 hasn't been there all that often. So it is a unique deal, and I got to doing a little math the other day after countdown. If things really fall right, let's say Lackawanna gets beat, let's say Garden City gets beat, let's say Mississippi Gulf Coast gets beat. It's not out of the realm of possibility. I'm sitting here doing the math. It's not out of the realm of possibility. You're sitting in 6th place
right now. You don't know.
And we defeated the team ahead of us. That has 3 losses.
Exactly.
So we have an argument to jump past Iowa Western.
It certainly could. It could be very interesting going back forth. Still, it's been a very successful football season, and we got a lot of other things going on. What's for you and me? What's this? Our 4th trip up here to Fort Dodge, or 3rd? Third. Okay. So
and only one of them's been normal.
Have you ever had a year in travel with football like we have this year?
Oh, God, not even close. Not even close. When you consider, you look at the entire schedule minus RPA, because that's an add-on. But in terms of our regular schedule, the 6 longest trips on that schedule.
And the 6th highest ranked.
And and those are the 6 road games
Yep.
this year. But this is the 5th time we've been on the road this year, and we're to face a ranked team. That's nuts.
Well, and even when Rusty was calling the games, I would make the trips up for the long ones, up to Iowa, up to even some of the other long ones that we would have. Not so much in state, he would make those certainly, but the Iowa trips and even some of the Texas trips we made. But you and I, we slept in more vehicles than I care to even talk about. Okay,
we have. I wish we could translate frequent flyer miles. You and I'd be set.
It would be.
Third trip up here. We've gone 3, I believe, to Iowa Falls for Ellsworth, and then Council Bluffs doesn't count because that's just on the other side of the river from the good part.
Still, it takes a little bit to get there, especially if you had basketball the night before. So it makes it very interesting.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you even received a phone call from Taylor Staley, who made a couple trips up here with us, and slept in the parking lot just like we did a couple years ago. So she remembers this trip dearly. Only we were awakened by a marching band that morning.
I was awakened partially by Iowa Central athletic director Kevin Twitty. He's got a very distinctive voice. That's what kind of poked me up this morning.
Mm-hmm.
And no marching band today. We had 4 years ago when we got that marching band. That was a shock in the system.
That was. All right, let's talk about quickly cross country nationals going on. How did the Blue Dragons fare?
Well, I don't have the team results yet, but I do have some individual results. Defending national champion Andrew Kibet wound up 4th, ran a time of 24:08. And Sylvester Kiberar, fellow sophomore, finished 7th in 24:19. So they had the Blue Dragon men had 2 runners in the top 10. They receive All-America honors. And on the women's side, like I said, just sifting through now, that race was just completed here not too long ago. Within the last 5 minutes or so, and our top runner was Sheila Tu, the sophomore. She's 50th on the women's side. So the scores are still being tabulated, making sure they're all verified. So none of the team scores are posted yet.
Well, they're very successful outing, and that's at Albuquerque, New Mexico. So congratulations to the teams, and they'll be working their way back here. Volleyball in the mid part of Region 6. So now we go down to Seward County and take on the Saints.
You're hoping for 2 years ago. 2 years ago was a magical day, and Josh Gooch, our athletic director, says it's still one of his favorite days of his tenure, where the Blue Dragons went on to Seward County for the Region 6 tournament, defeated Colby in the semifinals, and then swept number 3 Seward to qualify for the first national tournament in Hutchinson. It was a very intense 3-set match, and the Blue Dragons pulled it off. Seward County this year, they're dynamite.
Yeah, they really are.
They've just got all kinds of weapons. A great setter in Laura DePra. It'll be tough, but it's not out of the realm of possibility. The Blue Dragons kind of finding their stride here late. They won 4 out of the last 5 matches. The only loss was to a 5-setter on the road at Barton, which is kind of a hot team right now as well. So Colby's going to have their hands full in the other semifinal with Barton. The odds don't look good, but that's why they play the game.
That's why they play the game.
You got to go out and play. And Patrick Hall, I know, is going to come up with something. I think that the Blue Dragons are as healthy as they've been in quite some time. I know Kayla Nelson's still battling the knee issue that slows her down from time to time. But since that knee issue, she's also had 3 matches of 20-plus kills. So, if she's got the rest, she can be a definite offensive force. And then you've got a player like Eden Hebert, who's kind of shifted roles this year, more of a back row player, but turns out to be Hutchinson's top server. She's averaging almost 2 aces per set right now over the last 4 matches. So a lot of different pieces they've shifted around. Patrick Hall's gone to a 5-1 set with Ebony Sapien running at setter. So it's going to be interesting. It'll be tough, but it wouldn't surprise me if the Blue Dragons pulled it off tomorrow.
Well, we'll see. They're in action again down at Liberal. You will not be there.
No,
You never know. He's hinching a little bit. And also, we have basketball. Both of us have a couple games under our belts. As again, the Atrium Classic. As much as we want to be, we won't be able to get back in time for basketball tonight. And that takes place with Hutch Blue Dragon ladies entertaining NEO tonight at 5:30, and then the guys will be. That's on the Blue Dragon Sports Network, by the way. And then the guys will be on Country 102.9 as well as KWBW at 7:30 p.m. with the matchup with Labette. Hutchinson with a nice win.
Assuming they stay on time. Guys' game got started an hour late.
Yeah, man, we could make it if we. No, I kind of doubt it.
Well, there are a certain set of officials who are working one of the early games. We have a chance.
Yep, that's a possibility.
Lots of whistles yesterday.
So we've been busy. There's no doubt about it. But looking forward to it, and it'll start to settle down a little bit when we just get to just basketball. But we do have the Salt City Bowl right around the corner as well. And like you said, a lot of stuff can happen out there with all the rankings and all the things that can happen. See who's going to be in the national championship or who's going to be in the Salt City Bowl. We will see.
With what's transpired over the last 2 weeks, nothing would surprise me. Mm-hmm. It has been that crazy of a year. Randy McKay asked me earlier if I've seen a year like this. No, I haven't. This has been one of the strangest years in terms of not just play on the field, but all the goofy stuff off the field. You talk about the argument with the polls a few weeks ago. Mm-hmm. You talk about with what happened in Fort Scott, shifting the whole paradigm of the league around where we thought even after we lost to Garden City last week, we still had an outside chance at a shared conference championship. Well, Fort Scott ends up forfeiting all their games. And now, of all the teams to have a chance at an undisputed conference championship is Independence.
And of all the countdown to kickoffs we did, we never mentioned that possibility.
No,
not even one, because they were the second opponent for the Blue Dragons.
That's right.
And actually, the first opponent for the Blue Dragons.
The first league opponent, mm-hmm. Yeah. It was. And it's just, I wonder what's going to happen next. It's almost become a soap opera. It really has, and I'm intrigued to see what happens next. And I'll be disappointed if nothing happens.
Okay, we will see. Second half just around the corner. Randy McHale gets set back in here as well as Hutchinson leads at 28-0. Steve, thanks as always. Appreciate it very much. Steve Carpenter, the Sports Information Director at Hutchinson Community College. We will take a 2-minute timeout, send it back to Stewart for a couple minutes. Again, the Blue Dragons lead at 28-0. We'll be back with second half action right after this.
In need of a business loan? With the First, you are promised personal service and commercial lending. Whether your business is just getting started or you're ready to expand, the First has solutions to help make your business successful. We're First for you. Find out how our loan experts can help. Visit fnbhutch.bank to get started or stop into a location nearest you. First National Bank of Hutchinson, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Hutch CC Sports on Radio is brought to you by the Sportscaster Club members, Mega Manufacturing, Sporting Chiropractic Center, Papa John's Pizza, A&A Builders, Barclay Plumbing Company, Sutton Coppin Transmission Service, Lowen Corporation, Old Office Shares, Dr. Eric Severud with Alliance Orthopedic and Sports Medicine, Todd and Cindy Miller of Homestead Senior Care, Man Wyatt and Rice Injury Lawyers, MAYB, Mid-America Youth Basketball, Portfolio Recovery Associates, Dr. Robert F. of the Hutchinson Clinic, and the Green Vision Group of Hutchinson. Hi, this is Rob, and I want to tell you about one of my favorite places in Kansas to get a melt-in-your-mouth cheeseburger. It's RV Drive-In, where they've been serving up fresh food, not fast food, since 1948. They're famous for their burgers, but you can also try their homemade pork tenderloin sandwich, patty melts, BLTs, and so much more. Tuesday, Thursday evenings, Friday, and Saturday, they make their homemade onion rings that are the best I've ever eaten. RV Drive-In, Kansas' oldest drive-in at 201 East Avenue A and online at rvdrivein.com. Go Blue Dragons!
Welcome to the Hutchinson Medicine Shop. With the emergence of big business, not only in pharmacy, but all industries, the Medicine Shop is proud to be a thriving local business in Hutchinson. We're so thankful to our customers in Hutchinson, Reno County, and Central Kansas for your support. In turn, we're proud to be a major sponsor of the Hutch High Salthawks, as well as other area high schools, the Blue Dragons, Chiefs, Royals, Jayhawks, and Wildcats. You support us, and the Hutchinson Medicine Shop supports.
Get underway for the second half of play. Randy, your observation?
Done exactly what they've needed to do. The defense has been strong. On the other hand, the Tritons, they just need to, they did have running the football up the middle, which is something I think they've got to a little bit because success often against.
Defense pretty stout this year. And again, like we talked about, still the 10-game win schedule or more we talked about. So we'll get kicking off as we start this second half of play. We kicked the football a little bit of breezed.
A forward, back for the Tritons.
Yeah, they're right at the goal line. End-over-end kick, 5-yard line by Akins, and he brings it up. He bangs into one of his own players and is finally dropped at about the 14-yard line.
Good coverage by the Blue Dragons on that kick return.
So now Iowa Central will set up shop, see if it's going to be Brantley or not, as he was injured in the first half of play, returned back and played well. We'll see if it's going to be.
And it is Brantley.
Yep, he will sit back in there and be set up 1st and 10. So he's back in the shotgun as usual again. He has Washington back there with him as well. Nice-looking freshman quarterback. Waist-high snap count, and he's going to give it to Washington. Nothing there, absolutely nothing there. As Bankston stuffed that middle along with a couple other players coming out of there and getting the stop. Matthews was in on it as well. And Bankston with the stop again. Cooper also right there on the point of attack. So it brings up a 2nd down 11, loss of a yard on the play.
Latrell Bankston just looks like he enjoys what he's doing there.
Well, he has played well. Of course, he was not able to play for a couple of games, and he really missed it due to the infraction that took place after the Butler game. So Brantley back in a shotgun formation again. 14-13 to go, third period of play. Just underway in this third period of play. Brantley wants to throw it now. He's going to run it, throws it out, incomplete pass. Started to run and decided he better toss it on the outside, and ends up being incomplete.
Jason Young, the intended receiver, just out at his reach there, bringing up a 3rd and 11.
Glenn Grunwald along with Randy McKay and Steve Carpenter at Fort Dodge. We're at Dodger Stadium here in Fort Dodge, Iowa. You take a pin and stick it right in the middle of Iowa, and that's where Fort Dodge is pretty close to being located to. Is here now a key 3rd down call. 3rd down and 11 for the Tritons. Back to pass on the outsides. Catch is made by Washington and eludes one tackler and can't elude the next one's up to about the 16-yard line. Blue Dragons point of attack would have had a big loss and just wasn't able to get him wrapped up back there.
And a good job by the defense coming up quickly on that screen pass.
4th down and 6. So a pickup of yardage there of about 5 yards by Washington.
Justin Gardner on the tackle for the Blue Dragons.
Gardner's been a good one all year long. Join Dragon Talk with Ryan Rhodes on Monday night. It's the final Dragon Talk of football. As Rob Drera was chatting with Coach Rhodes. And then a week from Monday, it'll be basketball's turn again at AJ's at the Alley. Here's a kick. Got it away. Tinsley takes it at the 45-yard line and called a fair catch right there. And Hutchinson will set up at their own 45-yard line. Again, on the 18th of November, we'll be at AJ's at the Alley with both Steve Eck and John on. We had our first Dragon Talk there the other night. Had a great crowd that turned out. We're skipping this week due to we want to get Dragon Talk football wrapped up, and then we'll start to stay out there on Mondays throughout part of December, and then we'll catch it up again coming up in January. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Bring your questions if you wish. We'll get some cards handed out for both John Onges as well as for Steve Eck. Folks want to ask him. Back to pass. This is Mark Wright. The catch made by Tinsley. Steps out of bounds at about the 48-yard line, 49-yard line. Inside of Triton territory now. As a pickup of about 5 yards on that throw and catch. Stops the clock with 13:11 to go here in the third period of play. Hutchinson just taking care of business. Back in the back. In the shotgun is Mark Wright. Again, threw more in the second quarter than he did in the first quarter as he started opening things up. To give the cross on the Kendall Cross on the run across the 40 all the way down to the 35-yard line. He's chucking right away in a pickup of about 20-plus yards.
He says, I'm not going down. Not this easy.
Kendall's had a good year, although we have not seen him on a lot of carries over the last couple of ball games. So good to see him on that carry. Takes it to the 35-yard, 14-yard pickup for Kendall Cross as he picks up some positive yardage. 1st and 10 now from the 35 for the Blue Dragons. Mark Wright with Cross still back there in his backfield. Wright turns, keeps it himself right across the 30-yard line to the 25 to the 20, falls forward to about the 18-yard line. Nice run by Mark Wright.
Dragging Jaron Barber with him for about 5 yards after contact was made.
Did a good job on faking the ball to cross, and many times the Blue Dragons will give it right back to the running back after a successful play, and the Tritons kind of played off that a little bit, and Wright was able to pick up positive yardage all the way down to the 18-yard line. So 1st and 10 for Hutchinson on the Triton 18, trying to get a score here at the start of the third quarter. They'll spin out, throws it on the run, catch is made, and it dropped. Brown had it, would have been about a 9-yard pickup, ends up being incomplete.
Right on the sidelines, and Wright was rushed just a little bit by the Triton defense. He probably let go of it a little sooner than he wanted to.
When I first saw him start to throw it, I thought, okay, he's just throwing it away, and then all of a sudden Kareem Brown came in out of nowhere. And you're right, Randy, I think he was hurried a little bit on that. Good rush by the Triton defense. This is very much a good Triton football team, won Iowa, and it played well all year long. Now Hutchinson gets set. Mark Wright, the quarterback, sends a man in motion. A little toss over to Tinsley, and he keeps it, and he fumbles the football when he goes down. They're going to mark it right at the 15. I think it's going to be Blue Dragons football. But as he caught the ball on the flip forward, it would be a pass, as he really had his hand out there with the football very tenaciously outside and was able to hang on to it. 3rd down call.
Got tripped, and, of course, the ground cannot cause the fumble, and that's the call.
So 3rd down and 8 now to go for the Blue Dragons. Ball on the 16-yard line. So the Blue Dragons have to get inside the 10 to about the 8 for the 1st down. So now they get set. Send a man in motion. Back to pass. Mark Wright steps up. Has a receiver. Catch is made. Touchdown, Blue Dragons. Petway on the reception from 16 yards out. So Petway with the catch from 16 yards out. The Blue Dragons on the board, 34-0 now with 11:14 to go. Again, we're in the second half of play. So Petway catches that 16-yard touchdown pass from Mark Wright. And Mark was right on the numbers on the slant pattern.
That was a perfectly thrown ball by Wright. Like you've mentioned before, one of the most accurate quarterbacks in recent Blue Dragon history.
He's done a great job. I love his accuracy. Here's the point after kick is up and on its way, and it is good. So Garcia gets the point on the board. 35-0. Hutchinson on top with 11:14 to go in this third period of play. We'll be back with more in the Blue Dragon Kickoff when we return right after this.
The most back from your tax return starts with getting the most expertise. H&R Block has more enrolled agents than any other tax preparation company, and we guarantee the accuracy of every return prepared by our tax professionals. We find every credit and deduction to lower your tax bill. Put our expertise to work on your return, and don't just get your taxes done, get your taxes won in Hutchinson, Lyons, and Ellsworth.
Welcome back. 11:14 to go in this third period of play. Nice job by the Blue Dragons to take it right down the field and complete a 16-yard pass to Petway for Mark Wright, throwing another touchdown pass. Makes it 35-0.
Right on the money.
He really has. That was a nice slant pattern by Petway for 6. So Garcia gets set to kick the football away. Takes his time. Here comes the kick. Gets up and on his way. End over end kick is going to sail out of the end zone. It'll be a touchback. So the Blue Dragons defense comes on the field. They'll be called to try to keep this shutout intact. As it's 35-0. Blue Dragons. We're having a good afternoon here at Fort Dodge.
Shows a pretty good leg on the Sebastian Garcia's part because it's kicking into that slight breeze, and he's still kicking it into the end zone.
And that breeze is picking up a little bit. The American flag now at the north end on the flagpole, which, by the way, the opening ceremonies here with the big American flag was pretty cool. I like that a lot. I could see that happening at Gowan Stadium and being a very effective and a beautiful display of our nation's colors. That'd be a cool thing to have happen. Here's Brantley still in there. Quarterback gives off to Washington. He spins forward and tossed to the turf at about the 29-yard line.
Yeah, Washington's been running the ball good and hard. Here's the the second half of the second quarter, and now into this third quarter here.
10:56 to go in the third period. 35-0 Blue Dragons on top. If you just tuned in, again, basketball tonight at the Sports Arena. Throw on the outside, just about a pick, knocked away, incomplete. As Gardner saw an opportunity to maybe get the pick, but was able to knock it away, incomplete pass. Brings up a third down call, 3rd down and 7.
Good defense by the Blue Dragons, which is something we haven't not had to say because
they played well.
In fact, the last 2 or 3 games they've been playing very well.
Now Tritons check off the play. Brantley looks to sideline to the head coach and gets the call. Here, long snap count by Brantley. Finally gets the snap back to pass. Looks upfield. Throws it short, though, and passes complete. But not enough for the first down. It'll be a 4th down call. I thought he was going to maybe go long as he had a receiver going stride for stride, but elected to go short with it. Ends up being just a short pick at the first down. They will punt the football away.
Christian Ford on the reception for the Tritons.
This is a situation where the Blue Dragons should have similar field position, less depending on a fair catch or not. Tinsler side, Colvin on the far side. Many punt returns he's had today. There's an unblock.
Art Green.
It's blocked by Art Green. Blue Dragons trying to get to it. They finally do, and that's going to be White taking it in the end zone for 6. And Jonathan White, week in a row, picks up a loose punt for the punt return for 6.
And the second week in a row for a blocked punt by Art Green. He was the one that blocked it in Garden City last week.
So Green will get the numbers from Steve Carpenter on how far he took it in. Looked to me like it was about a 5-yard return. It was a 5-yard touchdown return off the block punt by Art Green, and it's 41-0. Similar situation. There's the kick on its way by Garcia. It is up, and it is good. And with 9:59 to go in the third period of play, it's all Blue Dragons, 42-0.
Grills Plus this November. All in-stock grills are $100 off. Save 25% on CR Plastics outdoor furniture. What a perfect time to in-stock swim all November. Be a turkey. Shop local. Shop Pools Plus on Hutchinson.
Pools Plus.
Third period of play, Blue Dragon. Art Green has got a blocked punt. Second wheel, his teammate picks it up for 6.
And it's amazing that Art Green doesn't get more blocked punts because he's in there so close every time. And I asked him actually at the Garden City game, why didn't you block that one? He says, I'm working on it. And finally got one.
Blue Dragons, they lead at 4-0. We're here to play.
3 plays from now.
Collins on the outside. He's wrapped up for loss on the play. Good defensive effort by the... He has all the talents in the world. Hopefully he can find a spot to put him to use. Back to catches made by yardage. So Petway with the catch, laying at the 27-yard line. So let's see. Holding is going to be the call. Yards from the previous situation. 8 minutes to go in the third period of play.
Could be why Mark Wright had so much time to throw that ball.
Could be. Did a little play action, and right after that he went for the throw, but you're exactly right. Could have been what happened there. So a second down and long now situation facing the Blue Dragons. 2nd and 23. Ball right at the 24-yard line. So second down for Mark Wright and company. Back to pass. Mark Wright looks to the right side. Kareem Brown with a catch. Trying to get back to the 30-yard line. He is corralled at the 25 at a big-time stop. Just a pickup of just a few yards on the catch. Still third down and long.
Good job of coverage on the Triton defense. Not allowing him any more than just a few yards.
3rd and 20. Back on the outside now, the Blue Dragons will set up. See who they have in there. They have Evans in there, running back as well, as he'll be in the backfield with Mark Wright. Split out wide receivers. Trips on the right side. Back to pass. Wright's going to keep it and run it. Up the field he goes 30, 35, up to the 40. Forward progress all the way to the 44-yard line. Not good enough for the first down, but good positive yardage pickup. It will bring up an interesting call coming up here at third down for the Blue Dragons. So they'll move it all the way to the 44-yard line. Fourth down is going to be called 18-yard pickup. see if they punt the football away at 6:40 to go in this third period of play, and it looks like that's what they're going to do. So Arrington will be back to punt, excuse me. Looked like Mark was going to be able to pick up that first down, but a nice stop made by the Tritons.
A good block by Tyan Evans, too, to spring him for a few more yards. And Aiken is back deep.
Back deep is Aiken at about his own 20. Here comes the kick. Sideways rugby-style kick again. Takes the Blue Dragon bounce. Hits at the 20-yard line. Keeps rolling deep inside of the 10 now, all the way down to the 5-yard line. At the 10, excuse me. Hits right at the 10 as it came across the 15-yard line. And a nice punt by Arrington. Got the roll he wanted and Triton stayed away from it. Dragons roll takes it all the way down to the 10-yard line. So 6:07 to go in the contest third quarter.
Okay, I think I figured this out, why there's so many more going to that rugby-style kick as opposed to the conventional punt. And that's because it lands short, so not much of a chance of return, and generally you're going to get a good roll out of it.
And that's what happened on that occasion right there, as the Blue Dragons now set up defensively. Again, Arthur Brantley, talented freshman quarterback for the Tritons. Back to pass, looks across the middle, lets it go, and it outthrows his receiver. Incomplete pass. Good coverage back there by the Blue Dragons as well defensively.
Bennett was the closest one to the pass. He had great coverage on the Triton receiver.
Jacorian Bennett's had a good year. Brings up second down and 10 now with 6:02 to go for the Triton quarterback, Brantley.
Brantley, not a big quarterback, but got a pretty good arm.
Sarasota, Florida is his hometown.
5'11", 175 pounds, so not a big quarterback, but good,
give
strong
to
arm.
The running back. Handoff up to Washington, and he carries forward for positive yardage. Pickup of about 5 on the carry. Third down and 5.
Several Dragons in on the play.
Clock moving with 5:44 to go in the third period of play here.
Including
injury timeout on the field. So we're going to break in, Randy, with 5:43 to go in this third period of play. They'll tend to the Triton player. We'll be back with more from Fort Dodge, Iowa, right after this brief timeout.
Sports on Radio is brought to you by the Sportscaster Club members. Mega Manufacturing, Sporting Chiropractic Center, Papa John's Pizza, A&A Builders, Barclay Plumbing Company, Sutton Coppin Transmission Service, Lowen Corporation, Old Office Shares, Dr. Eric Severud with Alliance Orthopedic and Sports Medicine, Todd and Cindy Miller of Homestead Senior Care, Man Wyatt and Rice Injury Lawyers, MAYB, Mid-America Youth Basketball, Portfolio Recovery Associates, Dr. Robert Epp of the Hutchinson Clinic, and the Green Vision Group of Hutchinson.
Welcome back again. 5:43 to go in the third period of play. Glenn Grunwald, Randy McKay, along with Steve Carpenter.
The game's not even over. You're already
we're making our plans for supper. There's no doubt about that. As we'll be hitting the road here and head back to the Salt City. As getting the player to the sidelines, think he's going to be okay. And again, that being an Iowa Central player getting back, that was Kurt Taylor, was a little banged up.
Jaden Washington and Grant Walker back in the backfield with Brantley.
All right, quick opener. Hardly anything there at all. Maybe pick up of about a yard and a half on the carry.
That was Walker with the carry.
So Walker carries it forward for a pickup of about a yard and a half. Fourth down and short. But they'll punt the football.
Marquise Colvin on the stop, and he's going to go back in punt return formation again.
So Colvin on our near side this time. Yeah. Tinsley's been. They flip-flopped here. See if somebody can get a return here as they get set to punt the football away on 4th down and 3. Getting close on the snap here. They get it, got the kick away. It's going to be taken at Tinsley. He takes it forward across the 50 to the 45 and rolls forward to about the 42-yard line. Gutsy return right there as he took it right at the 45.
Got it right on his fingertips, too. He didn't let it come to his body and had to stretch just a little bit to make the catch.
Which is a good thing because otherwise it can come off and bounce off and be a fumble. So 1st and 10 for the Blue Dragons. They'll have the ball at the 42-yard line. And at the Triton 42. So Mark Wright still in there at quarterback. The back end is Collins. Aaron Collins at that running back spot for the Blue Dragons. Collins out of Plant City, Florida. Goes in motion. They'll throw it on the outside to Collins. Gets the catch made at the 40. Cuts upfield to the 35 and out of bounds he's ran. Forced out of bounds. Nice positive yardage picked up. See where they put it. Pickup of about 8 on the carry, on the catch, I should say. Second down and 2.
Delonte Jones forcing him out of bounds. And maybe something like that will help get Collins going, because that's good positive yardage. 8 yards on the reception.
Yeah, he had another catch earlier in the first half of play, similar to that. Second down and 2 now for the Blue Dragons. Collins in motion to the right side this time. They'll throw left, however. Catch is made by Burt. Goes off the screen to about the 30-yard line. Has the first down. And a flag on the play. And right where the catch was made and the tackle was made. So let's sort things out. With 4:14 to go here in the third period of play, Burt with the catch. And now the official...
I'm not sure on the call whether this is it.
Is that one?
He was hit in the head hard. Burt was.
Or is it like a pick play? And that's what I'm thinking it's going to be. I called it an illegal pick, basically. Similar to basketball, where you play it off of
but I'm not
the
sure,
screen.
I'm not sure that Brown was doing any blocking.
Umpire looking over the flag while the field judge and White Hat are all back discussing things at about the 20-yard line. We've seen huddles like this lately, and they don't work out for the Blue Dragons' favor, so we should say. So
one very important one last week.
Looking at the body language of the Blue Dragon coaching staff as well over on the far side. And I think they are going to eat it. So that's exactly what they were looking at, Steve, is whether or not that was a pick type of situation. They alluded to that it was not. Oh. It is against Iowa Central.
I think that was on the play.
Yep, I think you're right.
The tackle on Burt. He got hit in the head really, really hard.
So that is what they're going to enforce, and it'll be half the distance to the goal line, I believe. And Hutchinson will march farther to the north and have a great opportunity here inside the red zone to put 6 more on the board and 7 with a completion of the point after. Let's see what takes place here. So they'll mark the ball right at the 14-yard line. So 1st and 10 for Hutchinson from the 14. Mark right to quarterback. Wants to throw the ball on the outside. Catch is made by Roche, trying to get back to the 10-yard line. And he will. A pickup of about 5 yards on the catch and carry. We'll bring up a second down situation. Blue Dragons have it right at the 10. 2nd and 7 you call. 3:43 to go in this third period of play. Blue Dragons knocking on the Tritons' goal line door again. Right to quarterback. Has Burt split out wide on the right side. Wants to get the ball to Collins. He does. He slips a little bit down there right at the 10-yard line. Gain them maybe a yard. I was down on the field earlier before the game, and there's some worn spots on this surface here at Dodger Stadium.
Brant Casey on the tackle for the Tritons. Although he didn't have to do much of the tackle because Collins did slip.
So it will be still a ball on the 10-yard line. 3rd and 6 to go for the first down.
Got Burt and Braham on the split out to the left side.
Yeah, on the near side. As you watch on the Blue Dragon Sports Network on the stream. Here's a give to Collins again, trying to work his way down to the 5-yard line and could be close for the first down. Let's see what the call is going to be.
All depends where they mark it.
See his forward progress. I think it's going to be right at about the 7.
I think that's a bad spot.
So it'll bring up with 2:28 to go.
Can Rhodes throw the challenge flag on the spot?
4th down and a long 3 is going to be the call for the Blue Dragons, and they're going to go for it. Mark Wright looks to the sidelines. Wright has had success in this situation of tucking and running himself. So see what we have here is the ball is on the 7. On the 8-yard line. Thank you, Steve.
Burton Braham split wide left.
And stoppage of play before the play could be started. And we'll see what the infraction is going to be. Delay a game. So that'll mark it out, mark farther back. It'll be back to the 13. So it was a 4th down and 3. Now it makes it 4th down and 8. And Hutchinson does some substitutions. Roche will come into the ball game.
Along with Kobe Phillips.
Kobe Phillips as well comes in. Roche is split out on the left side. Let's see what they go with here. Minute and 44 remaining to go. Clock moving. 42-0. Hutchinson has totally controlled the scoreboard. Back to pass right. Steps up. Goes to the corner. Has a receiver out there.
No flag?
No flag.
No flag? You got to be kidding me.
Yeah, a lot of holding over there. Ends up being incomplete. And also have a player down. I think it's right down on the turf as well. Ryan Hilty comes in to check him out as he was hit after he threw the football. Ends up being incomplete. Taking over on downs will be the Tritons. But right now, let's see how Mark Wright is doing, as he is down at about the 22-yard line and has taken his helmet off, so they're attending to him with 1:30 to go. So while they take a look at Mark Wright, we'll take a quick timeout. 1:30 to go in the third period of play. 42-0. Hutchinson on top. We'll be back right after this.
This is Carter Fowle, president of Hutchinson Community College. I invite you to join us this winter as the proud tradition of Blue Dragon men's and women's basketball continues at the historic Hutchinson Sports Arena. Both teams are favorites in the tough Jayhawk Conference, so you won't want to miss any of the action. Find the schedule at BlueDragonSports.com, like us on Facebook, and follow Blue Dragon Sports on Twitter. As always, go Blue Dragons.
Well, Mark Wright, the quarterback for the Blue Dragons, taking off to the sidelines under his own power. We'll see how he's going to be, but he's walking pretty gingerly as though he might have taken a pretty good shot. It'll bring up 1st down and 10 now for the Tritons. They'll have the football. They'll take over on downs. Give straight up the middle. Nice run and positive yardage across the 20 to about the 22-yard line. Might have ripped off 10 yards.
Grant Walker on the carry for the Tritons.
Walker on the carry for the Tritons. Clock moving along with a 1:20 and 1:19 now to go.
Kind of want to be cautious with Mark Wright. He has been nursing like bruised ribs, but nothing serious.
Cannot see he's being attended to on the far sideline. We'll see if we get Sharif Brown or not. Here's the throw on the outside. Just about a pick knocked away.
It is a pick.
It is a pick. As coming up with it was Bennett as he was able to get it, and then we went down out of bounds. Hutchinson will have the football at the looks to me like about the 29-yard line. I'll set the exact spot. It will be pretty close to
31.
To the 31. So they'll mark it at the 31. I was screamed by all the players on the sideline, but Meta made the pick. Reason we know he made the pick is because we heard an affirmation of it from upstairs.
Yeah.
And as I'm talking about the coaching staff for Iowa Central right above us, and it will be a 1st and 10 now for the Blue Dragons. And let's see if Sharif Brown comes out to quarterback the Blue Dragons or not. Actually, it's going to be Lane. Lane will quarterback the Blue Dragons. Yes, Kareem, check that as Lane will be the quarterback for Hutchinson. And gives it up the middle.
Evans with the carry.
Evans with a couple-yard pickup.
Tackle made by Jaron Barber.
So a pickup of 4 to 5 on the carries. 2nd down, we'll call it 5. All right. Lane, quarterback out of Georgia. And we have seen him on other games when he came in after the Dragons had used 2 or 3 quarterbacks because they were ahead so far. Back to passes Lane. Steps up, throws the football, has a receiver out there.
Beautiful.
Catch made. Catch made by the Blue Dragons.
Petway with the catch.
It was actually Roach with the catch.
Roach?
Roach, number 80, makes the catch out there and gets the TD. Nice.
That's Petway.
Was it Petway? It was Petway. I apologize, Randy, because he's number 10 and number 80, but Petway with a great catch. First pass by Lane.
Great throw by Lane. That was right on the money.
So Hutchinson takes the lead now at 48-0. Garcia will try the extra point. Petway right at the goal line. Lane went for it all. Petway made the catch. Bad snap. The kick is up and on its way, and it is good. So good job by Arrington with the snap coming a little low, was able to get it up and in by Garcia. 49-0 is your score. Hutchinson off and rolling. We'll be back with more. Again from Fort Dodge, Iowa, with 19.6 seconds to go in the third period of play. Dragons put 6 on the board plus the extra point. 49-0, they lead it. We'll be right back.
Just call us at Anchor Away 662-3100 and we'll have it ready for you. Choose from our selection of breakfast burritos, biscuits, or one of our 5 different complete breakfast plates. Breakfast from 7 to 10:30, Monday through Saturday. If you missed us for breakfast, we're here for lunch and dinner too. Pick up your favorite Mexican dinner or take some home for the family. We're open till 9. That's Anchor Away, drive-through, carry-out, and catering under the water tower at B & Adams in Hutchinson, 662-3100.
Little Blue Dragons with Lane coming in, and all of a sudden you have a 26-yard pass for the TD to Petway for 6. And Trey Petway made a nice catch, right, to just stride for stride with the defensive back. And great pass by Lane right on the numbers.
The good thing is he had Petway right on his back, so wasn't able to get to the ball.
Garcia with the pooch kick, fair catch called at the 28. So with the football will be the Tritons, and we have an injured Triton at midfield, but he's going to be okay and get up. And Hutchinson will come out defensively. It's 49-0. Hutchinson with the big lead. And fair catch was made. That's where they'll mark where it was caught. So we will check and see the condition of Mark right here in just a second. As the Blue Dragons are feeling pretty good about this one with 19.6 seconds to go in the third period of play, leading 49-0. Been a good outing. They were pretty loose before the ball game, but they've came and played pretty well. Here's the give straight up the middle, nothing there, and a stop is made on Walker. So second down and 10 facing Iowa Central. Grant Walker, Decatur, Georgia.
Lewis Wallace on the tackle.
And that's your third period of play comes to an end. We'll go to the fourth period. Hutchinson leading 49-0. We'll be back with more from Dodger Stadium in Fort Dodge, Iowa, right after this.
Big texters, heavy data users, helicopter moms. Nextech Wireless has you covered. And right now, we have the perfect deal going on. Here it is. For a limited time, 4 lines of unlimited data cost $120. Plus, you get 2 free iPhone 11s or Galaxy S10es when you activate any 2 devices. So get on down to Nextech Wireless and check it out. Get your free smartphones and unlimited data today at Nextech Wireless. We'll keep you connected. Certain restrictions apply. See store for details.
We all like to save money when and where we can, right? You can do that every day at Salt City Pawn and Jewelry. Hi, this is owner Paul Phillips inviting you to stop in and say hi to our friendly staff. And while you're here, check out over 3,000 square feet of great merchandise priced at outstanding values. We don't have to offer huge sale prices for one day only when we do that on a daily basis. Save big over retail prices on firearms, electronics, guitars and amps, name brand tools, video games, jewelry, and more. See us at 916 East 4th and Hutch, just east of 4th and Severance. We're proud to be alumni and supporters of all Blue Dragon athletics.
All right, second down and 10 now for the Tritons as we start this fourth quarter of play. They trail it 49-0. They give straight up the middle, positive yards for the Tritons up across the 30. They'll mark it up to about the 32-yard line. Check and see who that.
Washington was
the ball carrier. He's had a heck of a day. He's carried the ball a lot. Small stature young man.
Time of possession, which always seems to be a little bit misleading because the Blue Dragons score so quickly, is 19:44 to the Blue Dragons to 25-16 for the Iowa Central Tritons.
Blue Dragons show blitz, but stepping up is the quarterback Brantley throws it down, incomplete pass, stride for stride along the sideline. Intended receiver out there was Jason Young. Talk about Washington. He's 5'8", 160 pounds, so he's small in stature, but he can get through there. And I think sometimes he hides behind those big offensive linemen. Do a good job. Here's fourth down punt situation. Blue Dragons will send two back, trying to catch up with Mark Wright on the sidelines. I see him, and he is sitting on the training table. He might have got his bell rang a little bit as he's not being attended to by a trainer, but players coming over and patting him on the shoulders, and he looks like he might have just caught. Now one of the trainers comes over and takes a check on him. And a timeout's going to be taken by Iowa Central. We'll take a quick timeout. 14:23 to go in the fourth quarter play. It's the Dragons 49, Tritons nothing. We'll be back with more on Blue Dragon Sports Network right after this.
Midwest Superstores. We know when looking for a pre-owned vehicle, finding the exact vehicle can be tough. So we want to make it easy. We have over 500 pre-owned vehicles available in our huge inventory. How do we do it, you ask? Well, we have available in inventory from all of our other locations. And unlike the big chain stores, we do not charge to bring one in. So if we don't have it, we'll find it or we'll get it. So come see us today at 1100 East 30th or online at MidwestSuperstore.com.
All right, a quick timeout taken by Iowa Central, and now they get set to punt the football as they're back in punt formation. Here, good snap. Kick is up and on its way. Wrap him up at the 45. Good hustle by Tinsley. Right at the...
That by Tristan Waugh.
49-0. Steve talked about the sophomores that's being beat by guard. Next game as Iowa Central just came in and just whooped up on the Dragons.
And we talked about our concerns for that on the way up here. And
there's been no letdown. They're saying, hey, let's finish strong, and we'll see what happens. So the Blue Dragons now, again with Lane at quarterback, did nothing but throw a 26-yard touchdown pass his last possession. Fakes it again, this time up the middle. He does give it off on the option, and 5-yard pickup up to the 50-yard line. Nice hard running by White. Nice job by White on the carry. Jonathan White out of Quitman, Georgia.
Good strong run.
So White's back there in the running back spot. Lane's your quarterback. Lane is well-built young man at quarterback, not your typical quarterback. Throws it on the outside. Incomplete pass.
Pass intended for Burt.
Burt was the intended receiver, falls incomplete. Third down and 6.
Kingston McKinstry on the coverage for the Tritons.
Glenn Grunwald, Randy McKay, along with Steve Carpenter on the Blue Dragon Radio Network. Country 102.9 KHET in Hutchinson, as well as KWBW Radio in Hutchinson as well.
Highland 9, Iowa Western 7.
Ooh, Highland 9, Iowa Western 7. Is that in the fourth quarter? Halftime, okay. All those games started at 1. Ours started at 12 noon. The Butler Garden game is tonight at 7 o'clock at BG Stadium in El Dorado. Incomplete pass, trying to throw it to Bird again. Incomplete, brings up a fourth down punting situation for Blue Dragons.
Off the mark for Lane by about 3 or 4 yards. And it looks like they're going to bring in the punt team.
About 50 degrees out right now. Sunshiny, partly cloudy, but sunshine pops through once in a while. Little or no wind whatsoever. Yeah, we got a little bit there when you look at the north end zone, which catches a little bit more wind than the south end zone for whatever reason. Hutchinson will punt the football. Harrington gets set. Here's the snap. The sidewind kick is up and good. Fair catch called for at the 17-yard line. That's where they'll spot it. So Iowa Central will take over 1st and 10 with 13:30 to go in this fourth quarter of play. Successful trip so far for the Blue Dragons to Fort Dodge. Stayed in Ames last night. Worked out yesterday.
Same hotel as stayed when we went to Iowa Falls.
And came over this morning.
Same pizza ranch.
Steve's saying about the same food, same little bit of everything. We woke up from our chariot that we had up here to look out and see buses. You were gone, Randy. You said I was snoring and woke you up. I don't believe that. Here's a give up the middle, and sweet big stop by the Blue Dragons quickly. coming up to make that stop for Hutchinson. A great job by the Blue Dragons on the tackle.
Anthony Hill.
Number 92, Anthony Hill Jr. So Hill on the tackle. And a loss on the play of a yard. So Washington will be back there at the running back spot. He's a freshman also. They're going to have a good returning nucleus in their backfield next year. Here to give again to Washington. Carries forward. Jaden Washington up forward for a pickup of a couple. So it brings up a 3rd down and 9.
Washington only 5'8", 160 pounds. So he put a little muscle on him. He may make him a little bit even more effective running back.
Muscle and stretch him out, huh? Brantley 6'1", 175, and a freshman out of Sarasota, Florida. He checks off now and changes his call. He has twins on both sides, so a double twin set. Back to pass, looks to his left side, wants to run the football, and he will. He'll take off on the run, slides to a stop at about the 26 or 27-yard line. Let's see where they mark it.
It's going to be short.
I think it is, too. It's going to bring up a 4th down and 3 call now. I don't think if he would have still stayed forward running the football, whether or not he would have made it or not. But he did the safe thing and took the slide. They'll bring up 4th down in a punt situation. So with 11:52 to go.
Antonio Rice was closing in quickly on to make the tackle.
4th quarter of play, 49-0, Hutchinson on top. Blue Dragons, this will conclude the end of the regular season. Stay tuned after the game. Randy will go down on the sidelines and chat with Coach Ryan Rhodes. And, of course, Dragon Talk coming up on Monday night on BW Radio. Here's the kick. It's going to be taken by Tinsley. At about the 44-yard line, spins to his left side, goes straight up the field, finds the opening. He's going to get to the 40, down to the 30-yard line on the far sideline at the 20,
one man to beat.
At the 15, and he's dropped right there at the 10-yard line. He had that one man to beat, but that one man was the punter, and he was able to drop him right at the 10 or inside the 10 at the 9. But a pretty nice return from about the 45, 46-yard line, 48-yard line, 48-yard return is what Steve has, and it marks it all the way to the 9-yard line, so inside the red zone.
And a nice tackle by the punter, Tokheim.
He eluded one tackler at the 50 by, instead of cutting to the outside at that mark, he eluded one tackler. Then he was able to make it to the outside.
I don't think that he's not going to hear that.
And on the outside here, with the kicker knocked in there, you're right. There will be film study that he will hear about that. He got tackled by the kicker. But that was the one man that Randy referred to beat. Here's Lane, a handoff, quickly up the middle.
White
again, the ball carrier, across the 10-yard line for a more positive yardage all the way down to about the 7. So the stop was made, but not before White picked up some yardage.
E.J. Brown leading the way for the Tritons on the stop.
White will check out of the contest. Cross will check back in. So Cross at that running back spot will set up on the left hip of White. Of Lane, excuse me. Lane gives a hard count, but nobody bites. And he steps off and checks off.
That's why the Big Ten is so good.
Now he gets set again. Comes the snap. The give to Cross to the 5-yard line. 3rd down and goal is going to be the situation. 10:15 to go in the contest.
Several Tritons on the tackle.
So a 3rd down situation here for the Blue Dragons. They'll get the signal in for the sidelines. They'll mark it officially at the 6-yard line. 3rd down from the 6.
3rd and goal situation for the Blue Dragons.
As it was marked at the 9 on the return by Tinsley. Lane, the quarterback. Gets the snap, goes left side. Ike gives it off to Cross. Cross trying to angle his way down all the way to the 5-yard line. And it's going to bring up a 4th down situation. And the Blue Dragon is laying prone. Now he gets up on his knees, and he's going to be okay. Big offensive lineman out there for the Blue Dragons.
And be Demarius Warren.
Demarius Warren, he's going to be okay.
So here's something I'm
third down.
I'm going to throw at you, Glenn. Why not go ahead? Oh, never mind. It's third down.
Yeah,
I thought it was fourth down.
It is fourth. They were late.
Why not try and instill some confidence in your kicking unit and go ahead and kick a field goal?
They're going to go forward here and see if they can for sure pull on all sides. Now they're going to go ahead and run the ball. Lane with a little flip to the end zone. Tight end catches it. It's Marshall for 6. So a nice play as the Blue Dragons go to Marshall on the catch.
Great play action by Lane.
Yeah, Stacy Marshall makes the catch, and that was from 6 yards out on the TD. It comes with 9:05 to go in this fourth period of play, and it's 55-0 Blue Dragons. So Marshall from 6 yards out makes the catch. Lane on the pass. Second passing touchdown for Lane today. Here's the point after kick is up and on its way, and it is good. So your score with 9:05 to go in the ball game. It's 56-0. Blue Dragons with the lead. We'll wait the Blue Dragon kickoff when we return right after this.
When the weather is warm one day and cold the next, stay ahead of cold and flu season by drinking plenty of liquids, getting enough rest, and keeping your hands sanitized. Come see the friendly folks at Ashcraft Pharmacy, your locally owned Health Mart pharmacy, for over-the-counter medications to help alleviate symptoms. And if you need a prescription, we offer free mail-out, free delivery, or call ahead for our handy curbside service. Go Dragons! From Ashcraft Pharmacy in the Hart Shopping Center, South Hutchinson, and Health Mart, caring for you and about you.
Well, back in the first half of play, the Blue Dragons had to go for a 2-point conversion because they missed on the extra point, but Garcia's been good on all the rest. And right now we look at 56-0. Hutchinson trying to pitch a shutout here at Dodger Stadium.
There you go. That seems appropriate now. But, yeah.
Nice job by going to the tight end. I love it when they use the tight end.
Yeah.
We used to have a big fan, John Perry, that would always love it when we used the fullback. Fullbacks and tight ends, right, Steve?
Run the fullback.
Yeah, run the fullback. Why don't we have a fullback, John would always ask. Here comes the kick. High end over end kick. Fair catch call for. Just about fumbled at the 15, but get the touchback now. So 9:05 to go in the ball game. 56-0. Blue Dragons with the lead. Don't forget basketball tonight at the sports arena. Girls and women will be playing at 5:30 p.m. They'll match up against NEO. And on the late game tonight, it'll be the Blue Dragon men taking on Labette, the Cardinals of Labette, in basketball action. And the Atrium Classic at the sports arena. 2 afternoon games as well that are going on as we speak.
Western Nebraska led Barton by 8 at halftime.
Okay, Western Nebraska was on top of Barton by 8 at halftime. Back to pass. Catch is made at the 35-yard line. Carries forward to the 41, 42-yard line. Nice catch out there. Made by the
Terrell Carey.
Carey with a nice catch.
That's probably their best pass play of the day so far.
Carey out of Madison, Wisconsin. Picked up 17. 1st and 10 now for the Tritons. You know, they'd like to go down and punch it into the end zone. This is their last before a bowl game as well. Has some success. Here's Washington off tackle. It's at the 42-yard line. Drop right there. Pick up maybe a yard on the play. 2nd down and 9.
Big Charles Johnson in on the stop for the Blue Dragons again.
Basketball action next week at Barton Community College. Steve Carpenter will be with me on Friday as we got a couple big games. Women's game is at 1 o'clock, and the guys at 3. Guys play Monroe College. There's a drive up the middle by Washington. He is a hard-running young man as he carries it all the way close to midfield. And it won't be a first down, but pretty doggone close to it. 3rd down and we'll say 3 to be exact, but he really runs efficiently.
Travion Freeman was leading the way for the Dragon Tacklers on that play.
Freeman able to stop Washington. 3rd down, and we'll say, like I said, 3. Here's Brantley, gives straight ahead running. Not there on the 1st down. It'll take it right to the 50-yard line. So short by about 2 yards. So a big call coming up for the Tritons here as they have it in midfield. 4th down and short. Nose of the football right at the 50-yard line. So here comes the snap of the Tritons on 4th down to give it to Washington. He has the first down and more as he gets across the 50 all the way down to the 48-yard line and mark it at the 47.
Boy, they gave him a good spot on forward progress just past the first down marker.
But he had it with his first surge at the line of scrimmage. Nice job done. He'll move the chains. 7:10 to go. 56-0 if you're just tuning in. Blue Dragons led it at halftime, as well as just kept adding to the score as we went along. Blue Dragons led at 14-0 at the end of one quarter of play. Pass on the outside. Nothing there to Washington. And brings up a 2nd down and long. Blue Dragons at halftime at a 28-0 lead. Getting that 2-point conversion that we talked about after we had the blocked extra point. 2nd down and 11. Losses on the play on that last run. Is again Brantley, the quarterback. Turns to give to Washington again, and he turns forward to about the 45-yard line or a little bit farther. They'll mark it to the 44. So a nice pickup. We'll bring up a key 4th down call here.
Arian Strong not letting go of the jersey, so not to allow him to get any further than that.
So 3rd down's the call. 3rd down and we'll say 6.
Have a Hutch player down.
Yeah, we do have a Hutch player down in midfield. They're attending to. We'll see if it's going to take an unusual amount of time, and I think it will. We'll take a break. 6:05 to go in this 4th period of play. Hutchinson 56, the Tritons of Iowa Central 0. We'll be back in a half minute.
Business loan? With the First, you are promised personal service and commercial lending. Whether your business is just getting started or you're ready to expand, the First has solutions to help make your business successful. We're first for you. Find out how our loan experts can help. Visit fnbhutch.bank to get started or stop into a location nearest you. First National Bank of Hutchinson, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Welcome back to Fort Dodge as the Blue Dragon Dennis Jackson is taking off under his own power. He's going to be okay, but got a little shaken up there, and he'll settle in. Here's a 3rd down and 6 call for Brantley, the quarterback of Iowa Central. Sends a man in motion. He stops, gives it off. This time, new running back, and carries forward across the 45-yard line to about the 44-yard line. Positive running by, again, Grant Walker on the carry. So 4th down and 5 now. 4th down and 5. The call for the Tritons. Randy McKay will head to the sidelines to catch up with Coach Rhodes after the game. We'll do a quick recap, and then we'll close out the game portion, get set for the coaches' report, coaches' show, and then we'll come back and wrap up with the Medicine Shop game capsule. Here's the throw by Brantley down after he eludes a Blue Dragon tackler, knocked away out of bounds, incomplete, as Brantley just sidestepped the rush and was able to get a long pass downfield, but Blue Dragons will take over on downs at the 44. So Hutchinson will have the football with 5:10 to go, leading at 56-0.
Yeah, that was good by the Blue Dragons, but also a good job of Brantley getting out of the pocket and getting away from pressure.
Yeah, trying to get around there. Did a nice job eluding the rush. And got down there and did a good job of it. Right here, the Blue Dragons lane, still in a quarterback. The turn, the give to the first man through, and gang tackling out there by the Tritons, but the ball carrying all the way across the 50. The Tritons say they came up with it. Let's see, they got the ball popped out of there.
There was a fumble on the play.
Yes, there was a fumble on the play. And Hutchinson did turn the ball over as Tritons came back up with it. That's what happens sometimes when you get stood up and you're still trying to make something out of nothing, and all of a sudden the ball will pop loose on you. And that was Samuel on the carry.
Especially when you get into a scrum like that.
And they're stripping at the ball, and they're, of course, taught to do that as It's a good play in football. Samuels coughed it up. It'll go back over to the Tritons now at their own 48. I was about to comment that he had good positive yardage carrying forward, but it was because of the scrum, and like you said, it was stripped away when that took place. All right, here's Bramley, the quarterback. Bramley, the quarterback's been all day long except for a couple occasions. Now he just falls down, and he's stopped at about the 44-yard line for a loss on the play.
Jalen Bass coming in hard.
Bass came in, made the stop.
Brantley seems to be hurt again.
Yeah, he shook up a little bit. He's limping again like he was earlier. Let's see if they make a change or not, if they elect to or not. Right now they're looking to the sidelines to get the next call in. He was substituted for earlier in the contest. As coming in briefly was Gibbons, Chance Gibbons, earlier on. Let's see if Chance gets another chance. Not right now. They give it off straight up the middle running, and Washington carries hard to the 45-yard line. Pickup of a yard on the play. Brings up 3rd down and long.
Actually, that would have been Walker.
Well, it's Walker on the carry. Thank you. Number 7. And it will be a 3rd down and call, and they will substitute, I believe. Now they keep Brantley in there. So another new face comes into that backfield for Iowa Central as Mario Wright will check in. He's out of Waterloo, Iowa. Where's number 15? So Walker's still back there as a running back. They'll split wideouts, twin sets on both sides. Back to pass, Brantley. Steps up, wants to throw the football, and finally does. Just heaves it out of bounds. It'll be an incomplete pass with 3:33 to go in a contest, 4th quarter play. And looks like it's going to be a punt situation for Iowa Central. So 56-0. It's been a good outing for the Blue Dragons. Led 28-0 at halftime. Kept adding to it and taking advantage of the situation and trying to close out the year on a positive note, Randy.
And that they are. And, of course, the special teams have done their part today, too, as well.
All right, now we get set. And they're going to punt the football away. Tinsley's on the far side. Colvin on the near side. Setting up at about the 25-yard line. Missed the snap, and he got it away. Short kick. Going to hit at about the 35-yard line and go out of bounds. So a little bit of an adventure for the punter today for Iowa Central. He's had a couple blocked and also has been sacked on another attempt, and this time was able to get it away successfully.
And if the Blue Dragons had been rushing the punter at all, they would have gotten it.
So 1st and 10 now for Hutchinson with 3:24 remaining to go in this ball game. And yeah, that's a situation where you're leading 56-0. Yeah, it's fun and games, but at the same time, might as well just wait to try to get a little good return. So a lot of reserves in there now for the Blue Dragons. Lane, the quarterback, gets a snap, gives it off to White, straight up the middle, hard running by Jonathan White, carries forward up to about the 40-yard line. Nice pickup, about 7-yard pickup.
Good job of running, and the tackle being made by Romello Gray, number 74 for the Tritons. After a pickup of about 6.
Yeah, 6 to 7, 2nd down and about 3. Nose of the football right at the 40-yard line. Glenn Grunwald, Randy McKay, along with Steve Carpenter. Randy McKay, sideline reports brought to you by Papa John's Pizza.
You know, I enjoyed being up there in the booth with you, but I love being down here.
Yeah, it's nice and sunshiny, and
yeah.
I'll say something about that in just a second as well, right after this play. Here's Lane going to give it off to White, and White's able to get back to the line of scrimmage, back to the 40-yard line, brings up 3rd down and short. For many years with Rusty and Rob and Darren, I'd be on the sidelines, and I really got to know the players well. I missed that. I was walking around down there kind of being a little bit funny feeling to be on the sidelines before the game because I really miss getting to know the players. And yeah, I was getting nostalgic is what Carp says I was doing. But I do like it on the sidelines. I enjoy the camaraderie that you see with the players and get to know them a little bit. Stick a microphone in their face, have some fun. All right, here's Lane, gives it off to White, angles against the grain, trying to turn the corner on the outside. He will. Gets to the 50, down to the 45, still on his feet to the 40-yard line, has the first down and more. Nice run by Jonathan White.
Nice hard running by Jonathan White. He took that corner around the left end after he started right, and
20-yard pickup. First down for the Blue Dragons. Nice job on around the outside, and White's going to be okay. He'll be substituted for when he comes over to the sidelines, actually. As it will be a 1st and 10 for the Blue Dragons at the 40-yard line of the Tritons. So Lane and White will stay in there. Also have Nix on the sideline on the tight end position in there as well. So a lot of substitutes in there right now. They'll crank it with 1:43 to go, and the clock will start.
And the Blue Dragons are not going to be in too much of a hurry right now.
It's okay to just run it down here, play clock. Check and see, it's at 27 right now, so Blue Dragons content to wait till it runs down before they snap a play or put a play in. 1st and 10 is what they have.
There's a drone over here flying over the south end zone.
Cool. I see it. It's right over by the retaining wall out there. Here we go. The give to White again, and White tries to come back out of the stack, and he's stacked up, lost on the play of about a yard, maybe a yard and a half. So 55 seconds left to go in this game.
And I'm thinking that the Tritons will not do anything just to stop the clock anymore.
2nd down and 10. They say that he did get back to the line of scrimmage, so to the 40, not a loss on the play. And Hutchinson will get set.
Victory formation. They're going to just take a knee.
Take a knee is all they're going to do. Is White, the quarterback, takes the snap, and that's going to do it. That's your final, 56-0. Blue Dragons on top. They bounce back after a tough loss to Garden City last week. They come back and get a win here on the road against a Triton team that has had a lot of success this year. Hutchinson, too much for them today, 56-0. We'll take a 2-minute timeout, get into the post-game portion, come back and do a quick wrap-up of the scoring today. And we'll go down and talk to Coach on the sidelines as well. We'll be back with more from, again, Fort Dodge, Iowa, when we return right after this.
HCC Sports on Radio is brought to you by the Sportscaster Club members, Mega Manufacturing, Sporting Chiropractic Center, Papa John's Pizza, A&A Builders, Barclay Plumbing Company, Sutton Cop and Transmission Service, Lowen Corporation, Old Office Shares, Dr. Eric Severud with Alliance Orthopedic and Sports Medicine, Todd and Cindy Miller of Homestead Senior Care, Mann Wyatt and Rice Injury Lawyers, MAYB, Mid-America